meantime, certainly embracing the challenge that this Pistons team presents.
The playoffs, if you love competition, this is the best. You've got two teams that are going to be competing on every possession, so it doesn't get better than that.
Jalen Brunson averaged just over 28 points a game against this Pistons squad on the year. And what type of challenge does this club present?
It's definitely a challenge. They bring a level of physicality that is known with JB Bickerstaff teams. I think they embrace that. They embrace him. And so they got a good thing going over there. And so it's definitely going to be a challenge.
JB Bickerstaff in his first season at the helm of Detroit. This is a team that won just 14 games last year and certainly has them in good shape moving forward. Jalen, meantime, talked about down the other end of the floor and how this team can best defend Cade Cunningham, who averaged just under 31 points a game against the Knicks this season.
I mean, it's very important. Cade's obviously a guy who makes a lot of the decisions over there. And so, obviously, with the ball, it's best if we just play him. Not playing one-on-one. We got to have each other's back regardless. And so obviously we have the guy guarding point of attack, but we got to have each other's back when he's driving, when he's trying to make plays and he's getting the paint. And so you can't just leave somebody on the island.
Cunningham, the seventh leading scorer in the NBA this season, averaging just over 26 points a game. Coach Tom Thibodeau asked who will be tasked with trying to slow him down.
When you have a great player like that, I don't think you give him a steady diet of anything. You have to give him different looks. There's going to be different matchups on him. But we understand we have to guard him with our team. We can't. It's not very difficult to guard guys of that stature individually. We have to do it collectively.
And certainly when you think about a player like this, Mikal Bridges got some of the responsibility during the season. Some of that onus figures to fall on his shoulders once again. How about Bridges and the task of trying to slow down Cade Cunningham?
Yeah, I mean, he's really talented, man. He's one of those guys that's, all-star this year too, but I think had a lot on his plate and did a really good job. I think, like I said, after one of the games that I know he was, I think he had a good amount of assists last year and stuff too, but I think even his playmaking grew from last year to this year, even with his scoring. So I think just, making him tough to guard because he makes the right play a lot. So we just got to guard him as a team and, do our best.
And certainly the physicality is an element of this series which figures to be very present as well. This is a Pacers team that does a lot of damage in the paint, fifth in the NBA in terms of that department. A very, very good offensive rebounding team as well. They like to mix it up on occasion. Coach Tom Thibodeau about embracing that aspect of the opponent.
That's sort of where the league is right now. There's been a lot more physicality, and so I think you have to embrace that. I think most teams have. And then you step it up into a playoff where you're playing the same opponent over and over again. The intensity does get high.
Karl Anthony Towns ended the season with 11 consecutive double-doubles. How do you meet the challenge of what the Pistons will bring to the floor in terms of their physicality?
Execute at a high level, offensively, defensively, go in with a game plan. It's like boxing. What Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched. So just staying disciplined throughout all the ups and downs, ebbs and flows of the series. Just staying disciplined and executing at a high level gives us the best chance to win.
Mitchell Robinson, for one, will be ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a dirty series. We're going to get out there and fight. That's the biggest part about it. Physicality, like with Detroit and us, and that's something we just have to bring.
Josh Hart, for one, doesn't expect anything less when going up a Pistons team that certainly embodies the city that they represent.
We have to not just match that physicality, but exceed it. I think there are times you can use that to your advantage, and be able to get to the free throw line and draw fouls and do those kind of things. So we know what kind of game it's going to be. We know what we have to be prepared for physically and mentally, and obviously that physicality for the series is going to be probably one of the more physical series in the playoffs.
Quite the quantum leap for this Pistons team. It's only their second winning season since 2009. The head coach was asked about how the Knicks feel being an overwhelming favorite, at least on paper, in this series.
Doesn't mean anything. No, the only thing that matters is what we think. So whether it's praise or criticism, it's all the same. All right, just lock into what we have to lock into, get ready to play. So there's always naysayers. That's part of it. And the same thing, don't get drunk with emotion, with praise. Things are going good, and everyone, just lock into, each day. That's all you have to do.
Stay in the know about all things postseason on our playoff hub, from purchasing tickets to our Crosstown Express schedule and more. Head to Knicks.com/playoffs. When we return on the Knicks pregame show, we'll check in with Monica McNutt. We'll get the keys to this game and the series between the Knickerbockers and the Detroit Pistons. And you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
The NBA playoffs are on Sirius XM NBA Radio. Tune in now as Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets play host to James Harden and the LA Clippers, followed by the New York Knicks at home against the Detroit Pistons, and the LA Lakers play host to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Expert recap and reaction to follow on Sirius XM Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do we like it to the most?
SiriusXM NFL Radio gets you ready for the NFL Draft on Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The best place to get your basketball fix every weekday is Give and Go with Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez, and former NBA champion Antonio Daniels on NBA Radio.
If you got Steph, you got a chance.
Evan Mobley, his unicorn status is about to be unlocked.
They'll cover every story and talk to great guests across the association every afternoon.
NBA Hall of Famer Mike Breen.
Anything shy of certainly the finals would be a disappointment for the Celtics.
It's Give and Go, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Out of here! Shohei Ohtani connect.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
We begin our quest for another championship right now. Winning is everything. It's it. It's all there is.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
Illinois.
Dan Grasso back on the New York Knicks pregame show. We're inching closer to tip-off between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. Rep the orange and blue with the latest pieces from the Knicks playoff collection. You can head to Knicks.com to shop now. Let's head out to Madison Square Garden and check in with Monica McNutt. She's going to be on the call for tonight's game with Pat O'Keefe. And Monica, postseason basketball, nothing like it. And you take the 82 games as a whole, sure, but really what happened in those 82 doesn't mean anything because it is a clean slate for everybody involved. How fired up are you?
Let me tell you, Dan, I almost missed getting on my headset. Our terrific producer, Ray Santiago, had to say, hey, we're back, because I was in here clapping just like the fans. Shout out to our terrific promos and entertainment team. This Get Hype video got me hype. Let's go.
And Ray, of course, doing a bang-up job, as always, making sure that everybody is on their game here. But certainly this Knicks team, I think the first thing that jumps out at you, Monica, is that it seems like on paper, for the first time in a real long while, this team comes into the postseason probably as healthy as they've been all year, and I would say the perfect opportunity for that to happen.
I agree, and I think the sky is the limit in terms of this group being healthy, and particularly when you look at this first round matchup, right? I love your intro as we began this conversation, Dan, because the regular season allows this group, the Pistons, that is, to have tremendous confidence. But it also should allow the Knicks to have the same confidence based on their overall experience and the fact that they have Karl-Anthony Towns in this matchup and the other team doesn't. Now, there's other guys that you can say that about, but in particular, I think he has an opportunity to really exploit the weaknesses of this Detroit Pistons roster on the defensive side of the floor.
Now, there's so many different angles you can attack this series, and certainly it's been bantied about for the entire week here, but one of them certainly that jumps off the page, and anybody that follows the NBA would know that the Knicks have a significant edge here just in terms of playoff experience. Remember, this Detroit team is an upstart. They were one of the worst teams in the league last year. Not many people thought they would be a playoff club this year or even finish in the top six, but how much do you think that experience factors in once they throw that ball up in the air?
So I'm not going to lie, Dan. For me personally, and this is at the NBA postseason conversation at large, I have sort of bristled, particularly in the West, at the way experience is being tossed around. In this case, though, I think it is being used appropriately. I was talking with some folks courtside. There are some nerves, right? But again, based on regular season results, this Pistons group comes in with confidence, and so they feel good about what they bring. The difference to me when you think of postseason basketball that I think will directly impact the Pistons is that the game slows down. This was the second best team in the league in terms of scoring in the fast break, in the Pistons, right? The Knicks, should they limit their turnovers, you know that Jalen Brunson is great in isolation. You know that the Knicks look to score in their half-court set, and if they don't turn the basketball over, one of the ways in which this turnaround was powered by the Pistons will be eliminated. And so I think they've got to be prepared to figure out how to score. Now, I also will say this, Dan. Cade Cunningham, to me, wants all the smoke from the Knicks. And we have seen him play terrific games, not just in the box score, but also mentally. The last time he was here, 4 fouls to start halftime and still finishes the game? Like, I just think Cade Cunningham, this is for him, win or lose, particularly win, big time asterisk, this has an opportunity to be a real coming out party and a postseason moment for that young man.
Absolutely, and you're seeing a guy this year that looked the part of a #1 overall pick in the NBA. You could call it his breakout season. He's probably going to get all NBA consideration once all those votes are tabulated here. I think from a Knicks perspective, I think the natural question is going to be, okay, how do they go about slowing him down? There were multiple looks during the regular season when these two teams matched up. Monica, do you think there'll maybe be any additional wrinkles that Tom Thibodeau throws into the mix to try to slow down the Pistons' leading scorer?
Well, as I've been thinking about it, Dan, I'm kind of like, do you let him get off and contain everybody else? I'm not saying let in terms of roll out the red carpet, but he does present a challenge in terms of slowing him down. I imagine that it's going to be a combination of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby initially, right? But it's going to require a total team effort. You've got to have eyes on the ball. You've got to have eyes on him. But I also think as you talk about best players in the series, that first 5 is pretty lopsided in favor of the Knicks in my mind. And so I wonder if you live with big Cade Cunningham games, but you make sure that Malik Beasley has not killed you in the corner. You make sure that Jalen Duren has not been a nightmare on the glass and cleaned up in terms of points in the paint and putbacks, right? I just wonder what the chess match will be as you got to get 4 wins to get out of this series.
Talking about best players in the series, certainly Jalen Brunson, the Knicks captain, is somebody who sits apart all the rest. Now, we know that he missed a significant chunk of the late part of the season there with that ankle injury. Came back, played 4 games, played about 35 minutes or so per contest. Do you think that it was enough to get him back into the fold of the guy that we're expecting to see night in and night out from one of the game's best players?
I do, because Jalen Brunson is a guy who needs daily repetition, whether it's a full-on game or not. He's got to be able to touch the basketball. And his ability to do that down the stretch beyond just what we saw in terms of the game and where we started this conversation, the experience that he has. Don't forget, y'all, before he got into a New York Knicks uniform, he put, I don't want to mess up my numbers, Dan, so check me on this, but he put 60 on somebody in the postseason, well, at least 40, right, versus Phoenix when he was still in Dallas. And so he's very comfortable when the clock strikes postseason. So I'm not worried about JB at all.
And then Karl Anthony Towns, who's no stranger to the postseason as well, certainly had plenty of games in a Minnesota Timberwolves uniform, but this being his first season here in New York with this club, very successful regular season, Monica, as we all know, is an all-star starter, tons of double-doubles, the whole 9 yards, but this is also, I think, a stage where a lot of eyes are going to be on him, given you did it in the regular season. This is when it matters the most, and I think the Cat is somebody that's bound to step up to the challenge here.
I got to say the quiet part out loud on this one. When you look, and you know what, I shouldn't have prefaced it like that. That's just basically my favorite phrase as of late, so I threw it out there, Dan. It's not quite appropriate. Anyway, here's the thing. Skill, offense, Detroit has no answer for Cat. The only thing in my mind that could cause him to be tripped up in this matchup is if he's not hitting from the three-point line and is too reliant on those threes, avoiding contact either from Beef Stewart, Isaiah Stewart, that is, or Jalen Duren. I would like to see Cat play downhill, get to the free throw line, make this Detroit team pay for their physicality, and of course, the three-point shot is there. He's a terrific three-point shooter. We know that. I do think, though, this is going to be a challenge in terms of the perceived, and I think it's important to say perceived, the perceived toughness, right? Because you don't necessarily have to be tough and be a rah-rah, start-a-fight kind of guy, right? As we obviously saw Detroit and Minnesota. But I do think that this matchup is going to be interesting to see what the perception is as he battles against two of the more defensive and tough-minded and physical bigs in the league.
Talking with Monica McNutt, she and Pat O'Keefe will have the call at Game 1. And the tip-off for this one has been delayed now, pushed back to 6:18 because of television. And, of course, the Denver Clipper game still is not over yet. So the league giving the Knicks and the Pistons a couple of extra minutes here before they're going to hit the floor. But without dipping too much into the keys, which we'll get to in just a second here, Monica, we know that Detroit likes to play a faster pace game than the Knicks do. You mentioned second and fast break points. They're also very productive in terms of second chance points. In terms of trying to slow the game down, do you think that if Detroit is faced with that scenario, they can still find ways to be successful apart from how they like to play usually?
They're going to have to if they want to win the ball game, right? The one thing I think when I think about teams that like to play fast, oftentimes that is usually correlated to misses, right? Miss, long rebound, run out, you gone, right, count it. I do think that there's opportunity, even if it is not coming off of misses, teams that are able to get the ball out of the net quickly can still force the pace. I also think that there's an important wrinkle when you talk pace, not just the up and down scoring before 6 seconds go off the shot clock, but even the pace you play with in the half court. How quickly does the ball whip its way around the perimeter? How quickly are you finding the mismatch? So on and so forth. And with a guy like Malik Beasley, who's shooting the three terrifically from the corner, they have the opportunity to play with pace in the half court. And to your point, with their rebounding prowess, their okay shots going up because they're just going to crash the glass. I can remember teams in my playing days whose offense was basically go get it off the glass, right? Like, that's a real thing. And so they're going to have to force the issue. On the flip side, for the Knicks, they're going to have to be that much more attentive. I will be curious if Kay Cunningham gets full court pressure from whoever may draw that assignment initially. We expect it to be Bridges or Anunoby. I'm probably leaning Bridges to start, but ultimately it will be Anunoby. Because if you can slow and disrupt him, then maybe you have your best shot at disrupting that offense that likes to play fast.
Mitchell Robinson is also another player, Monica, that worked the rust off late in the season after missing all that time with the ankle injury there. And we didn't see a ton of Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson on the court together at the same time. I think it was 47 minutes in the regular season. How much more real estate do you think those two are going to get on the court together, given that now here we are in the most important time of the year?
I know that this is a super hot topic, and I think it is a hot topic with good reason when you talk about these New York Knicks and these very astute fans. I don't know that we're going to see as much of that as people might envision. And hear me out, Dan. Who is going to be around those two when they're together, right? Mm-hmm. We know that Tom Thibodeau already trusts his rotation, which makes it tight. In the postseason, I don't expect him to suddenly begin to expand it, although I could stake the case for some Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet minutes. But I don't expect him to really loosen up that rotation. And so, frankly, if you have both of those guys on the floor, unless Josh Hart goes on a Philadelphia series a la last year, heater from three, it's tough to have all three of those guys on the floor because of the spacing. And so I think in spurts, we may see it, but I don't think people should expect to see these long runs of the double big lineup from the New York Knicks, because I also don't know if it's necessarily going to be warranted in this one. I think Cat is going to have a mismatch no matter what. And if Mitchell Robinson can be on the floor without him, you still have a very capable and stabilizing center.
Last thing before we get to the keys, Monica, you mentioned rotation, and we know that it's always going to be tightened up a little bit once you get to the playoffs. But one player in particular, Landry Shamet, had a real strong close to the regular season, I felt, in terms of providing some of that scoring punch off of the bench. How big of a role could you see him playing in this series and then moving forward?
I think he could have impactful minutes. Do I expect him to average 14 minutes a game in this series? No. Do I see a world in which he comes in and you look at the box score after the fact and it was 8 minutes, but he managed to go 2 of 4 from 3? Yes, right? And so I think in the playoffs, and we've seen this, as much as we've all consumed basketball, we've seen guys come in, hit a couple big shots, get a steal, grab a rebound, and they made momentum plays, right? But they made momentum plays within their minutes. And this is why, to me, Dan, and I'm on a little bit of a tangent here, I think as fans, you gotta appreciate role players, because they literally have the minutes that they're on the floor, sometimes less than a minute, right, to go in and make a difference immediately. No matter how warmed up they are, no matter the matchups, like, this, you a shooter? Okay, great, we need a shot. It's very formulaic. And so I could see a world in which Shamet is able to do that. You mentioned his three-point shooting down the stretch, finding terrific confidence with that jumper, particularly from the corner and above the break. So I do see a world where he could hit some big threes. I'm not expecting big-time minutes from him, knock on wood, assuming that everybody is healthy.
Monica, hang tight 1 second. We're going to pause 10 seconds and allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
NBA Radio on Sirius XM is available on your connected devices. Listen at home anytime you want with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or however you stream in the house.
New York.
All right, Monica, it's time now for the Knicks Keys to the Game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. What do you think it's going to take here to get the series off to a good note?
Well, my first key is kind of two, and I just like this alliteration with the F's. I'm stealing from my keys on the linear broadcast with our terrific friends on MSG Networks. I'm going fast break and free throws initially. And fast break is, if you allow the Pistons to get out in fast break, they are going to be playing with more confidence. That's where they start getting highlights and hooting and hollering from the bench. That's where they get energized. And so the Knicks are going to have to eliminate fast break opportunities for the Pistons. I'm also combining free throws in that one because if you are controlling the basketball, limiting turnovers, controlling the pace of the game, and you make the Pistons play defense in the half court, for as physical as they may be, eventually physicality takes a toll on both sides, and then thus presents opportunities for fatigue and free throws. And so I think if the Knicks shoot more free throws in this ball game, if they're playing downhill, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson are getting into the gut of this Pistons defense, they'll have the opportunity to go to the line where they can rest and get easy baskets. But they got to take away fast break from these guys. And then, Dan, you've heard me say this key over and over again. The Knicks are going to have to knock down threes. The Pistons are not a particularly strong defensive unit when it comes to the three-point line. They don't shoot a ton of threes themselves, but we know that all season long, a common denominator for the Knicks is they seem to go as their three-point shooting goes. And so at home, to start a series, I want to see them shoot the ball smartly, and I want to see them knock down shots. Oh, no.
Pistons
Sorry,
certainly.
we got the TV on the Clippers-Denver game. Okay, I thought that was Kawhi. I was going to be like, geez, already? But it's not Kawhi.
And it's a 1-point Clippers lead with a little over a minute to play. Part of the reason why we're still sitting here waiting for this game to tip off tonight. But that was indeed the Knicks Keys to the Game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at Kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. Monica, outstanding stuff. Appreciate you stretching a little bit with us before tip-off here. Have a great call. We'll talk to you and Pat after the game.
Thanks, Dan. You got me all warmed up and ready to roll. Let's do it.
Playoff basketball, nothing like it. Let's do it. That is the great Monica McNutt hanging out with us. And as she mentioned there at the end, with one of the keys being the three-point shooting, this is a Pistons team that doesn't necessarily live and die by the three like some do in the NBA. 45% of their points come from points in the paint. They're fifth in the NBA in that department, so could be a little old school, nitty-gritty, tough. You've heard the physicality term relayed countless times, certainly in our pregame show this afternoon. That is going to do it for us. I will talk to you again coming up at halftime, but next we'll send it right back to MSG. Pat O'Keefe, Monica McNutt. We finally get the playoffs started. It is game number 1 between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. And New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues right after this timeout. Enjoy the game, everybody.
This has been the New York Knicks pregame show. Get ready. New York Knicks basketball is coming right up.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Total Ortho Express is a state-of-the-art orthopedic care center with 4 Long Island locations: East Meadow, Syosset, Massapequa, and Deer Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention. Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours, so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
Hey, basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving to my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
6 to shoot. Towns, left wing 3. Got it! Karl Anthony Towns with the dagger.
New York Knicks basketball is on the air.
Right side screen from a Hart. Brunson, free throw line jumper. Got another one. It's a 50-point night for Jalen Brunson.
Oh my goodness!
The New York Knicks. Are you ready?
Back to Bridges with 2. 3 for the win. Top of the key. Got it! Got it! Mikal Bridges, a game winner at the horn, and the Knicks escape with an overtime win in Portland.
Knicks basketball starts right now. Live from Madison Square Garden for the NBA playoffs. It's Game 1. The Knicks versus the Pistons. Now, here's Monica McNutt. And with the play-by-play, here's Pat O'Keefe on the MSG Radio Network.
Springtime in New York City, playoff basketball is back at the world's most famous arena. Tonight, the New York Knicks begin what they hope will be a long journey through the NBA postseason with round 1, game 1 against the Detroit Pistons. Pat O'Keefe in for Tyler Murray, who's on TV duty tonight. Great to be alongside Monica McNutt. Monica, you and Dan Grassa set up game 1 a moment ago. Before we continue to get everybody ready, we start the evening by heading down courtside and Garden public address announcer Mike Walshevsky.
Garden, the world's most famous arena. And welcome to round 1, game 1 of the 2025 NBA playoffs. Tonight's matchup features the Detroit Pistons and your New York Knicks. Presented by Chase Freedom Unlimited. And now, if you're able, please rise, remove your caps here to present our nation's colors. Please welcome the Fire Department of New York. And now, here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, fresh off Broadway in The Wiz, please welcome actors, singers, songwriter, Avery Wilson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets are glad, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Avery Wilson.
And that's how we get the playoffs started here in New York. The Garden crowd already worked into a frenzy. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt, round 1, game 1. Knicks and the Pistons. And Monica, we've been waiting all week for this game. Actually, it feels like we've been waiting about 3 or 4 months for the playoffs to begin. The Knicks are rested. The Knicks are healthy, coming off another 50-win season. And now it's time to see what they can do once again on this grand playoff stage.
There has been so much talk about this matchup, and you mentioned, Pat, we were here last year, first-round matchup versus the Sixers, and so there is experience. There is a core for this New York Knicks that knows exactly what time it is, so to speak, as far as how to play big-time basketball. But I actually think there are some things about this matchup with the Pistons that the Knicks are going to need to navigate, namely one being the motorcade, Cade Cunningham, who had a terrific all-star season himself.
You mentioned Cunningham. Each team led by one of the best point guards in the NBA. Let's start with the guy who plays here at the Garden, Jalen Brunson. Last year in round one against Philly, he averaged 35.5 points a game. We know what he can do in the playoffs. As you look at this Knicks team this year, it seems like Brunson has even more offensive options around him than their last two trips to the postseason.
I would definitely agree with you there. When you look at Karl Anthony Towns, a guy who was just shy of becoming the first Knick to average 24.4 and 13 rebounds. He came up at 12.8. He has been an offensive juggernaut, and it is one of the things that has surprised me most about this season, how seamlessly he fit in offensively. But then you add the way that OG Anunoby has played down the stretch, as well as Mikal Bridges while Jalen Brunson was recovering from that injury. There are far more options offensively this season than there were a season ago.
And then there's the aforementioned Cade Cunningham, former #1 overall pick, a breakout season against the Knicks this year, averaging more than 30 points per game, but that was in the regular season. This is his first time in the postseason. An opportunity for him on the Knicks side. How do they contain one of the brightest young stars in the league?
Well, you want to be physical with him, first of all, because he's 6'6", and similar to Jalen Brunson, it is tough to change his pace, right? So you want to be physical with him. You want to keep him off the ball. You got to get your body into him as he's using those screens, because he's terrific in the mid-range, and of course he has the ability to finish at the rim. But you know, as I've thought about this, Pat, I've wondered a bit if some of the defensive strategy might be you make it as difficult as possible, but you live with the numbers, but you don't allow him to get to that just shy of 9 assists, I believe at 8-point-something. You don't allow him to get to that 8-assist mark, right? Can you be disruptive to this offense in totality, where if he is just the scorer, you've got more scoring options on the other side in orange and blue.
Let's get to the starting lineups. The Pistons, a regular season record of 44-38, 22-19 on the road, but 2-0 here at Madison Square Garden. Cade Cunningham, 6'6", his fourth year out of Oklahoma State, one of the breakout stars of the NBA season, as mentioned, averaging more than 30 points a game against the Knicks. The former Knick, Tim Hardaway Jr., 6'5", 12th year out of Michigan, a two-time Knick, in fact. He was the 24th pick for the Knickerbockers in the 2013 NBA draft. Asar Thompson, 6'6", second-year man, the fifth pick of the 2023 draft out of the Overtime Elite program. Tobias Harris, Long Island native, 6'8", 14th season out of Tennessee. The Knicks saw him in last year's playoffs when he was with Philly. 61 career playoff games. Harris averaging 16.3 points. And Jalen Duren, the 6'2", third-year center from Memphis, who averaged a double-double during the regular season. J.B. Bickerstaff, the Pistons head coach. And the Knicks, 51-31, led by their 6'2" All-NBA point guard in his seventh year out of Villanova, Jalen Brunson, who averaged 32.5 points per game in last year's playoffs. Mikal Bridges, 6'6", seventh year out of Villanova, his first playoff game since 2023, round one with the Brooklyn Nets. Josh Hart, 6'5", eighth year out of Villanova, a career year with career highs in rebounds, assists, steals, minutes, double-doubles, and triple-doubles. OG Anunoby, 6'7", eighth year out of Indiana. Karl Anthony Towns, the 7-footer, 10th year out of Kentucky, second in the NBA, averaging just under 13 rebounds per game. His first playoff game with the Knicks after 32 with the Timberwolves, and the Knicks head coach is Tom Thibodeau, his fifth season in charge, his fourth time bringing the Knicks to the playoffs. Time now for the Knicks officiating crew, brought to you by London Jewelers. John Goebel, the crew chief, he works alongside Bill Kennedy and Carl Lane. That was the Knicks officiating crew, brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. And when it's game time, it's Tully time. The opening tip brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. We are underway. The opening tip out of bounds into the Pistons bench area. It is off of the Knickerbockers, so The first possession will go to Detroit. Crowd, as you might expect, after the long 82-game regular season, let's just say they're ready for this one.
I'm ready, Pat. Let's go.
We all are. Chance of defense. Hardaway Jr. fires a three off the top. Back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Karl Anthony Towns.
All right, so interestingly enough, small wrinkle, Mikal Bridges bringing the ball up as Asar Thompson is guarding Jalen Brunson. We know that he's the most versatile defender for the Detroit Pistons, so no surprise with that matchup.
Twin brother of Amen Thompson of the Houston Rockets, also in the playoffs for the first time this season. Brunson against the double team, comes up short off the glass from the right side. Harris the rebound into the front court for Cunningham. OG Anunoby guards him. Cunningham into the paint, stops his dribble, kicks it out to Hardaway. Cunningham gets it back left wing. Brunson needs him on a switch, 10 seconds to shoot. Hardaway drives to the left side, finds a cutting Thompson, flips it up, no good, but a foul against the Knicks. 44 seconds into tonight's game.
Knicks fans already in the building with the necessary energy on the defensive end, right? OG Anunoby draws that initial assignment. There was some waffling, whether it would be Bridges or Anunoby, waffling by us in the media, I mean, not from the coaching staff, about who would draw it first. But the fans reacting to the defense on Cade Cunningham on that possession.
Asar Thompson, 22 years old, his second NBA season. First free throw is good. He's a 64% free throw shooter. Pistons wearing their Icon Edition uniforms, blue with Detroit across the chest in red with white trim as the second free throw is missed, and the rebound is grabbed by OG Anunoby. So here's Bridges bringing the ball up again, guarded by Hardaway Jr. Bridges left-handed dribble near midcourt. Bounce pass up top, Brunson, high post hard, turns the corner, down the lane, flips it up. Shot went in, basket does not count. There's a foul, but it's on the floor against Jalen Duren.
It looks like John Goebel is going to call this contact right at the free throw line where Jalen Duren, I believe that was his right hand, well, both hands. He's got both hands all over Josh Hart, so I get it.
A little bit of Jersey as well, Monica. Foul on the floor, as mentioned. Knicks inbound front court right side to Brunson on the left side now. Trying to drive on Thompson. Stops, steps through, flips it up. No good. Offensive rebound, Hart. Kicks it out to Brunson. Wide open. Left corner. Three is good. And the Knicks are on the board.
I love the patience by Josh Hart. He could have fought for an offensive rebound putback, but he went back to the captain to get him going. It's playoff basketball.
3-1 Knicks. Hardaway Jr. from the right side. Now right wing pass for Cunningham. He's guarded by Hart. They dump it into the post. Thompson working on Brunson. Turns, spins, flips it up, and in with the left hand, and we're tied at 3.
So, a couple of matchups that we're just going to have to keep track of. Jalen Brunson is in turn guarding Asar Thompson, who is more bouncy. We'll call it what it is.
Also 6'6". Brunson is 6'2". In the front court, Bridges has it between the circles, guarded tightly by Hardaway. Anunoby down the lane over Duren, flips it up, no good. Rebounded by Cunningham. Anunoby hit the deck, some numbers for the Pistons. Hardaway fakes a three from the left corner, loses the dribble out of bounds. Good closeout defense by Bridges to force the turnover.
I like the way that the Knicks are demonstrating being connected defensively. They're helping one another. They're quick to the ball.
Asar Thompson picking up Jalen Brunson at 94 feet, and he gets called for a reach-in foul. 9:48 to go in the first quarter. Knicks and Pistons tied at 3.
Woo, Pat, I can feel it. You can slice the energy in here. The tension is high. The fans are locked in. We got playoff basketball.
Defensive intensity on both sides. The Knicks have missed 3 of their first field goals, including all 3 from inside the three-point arc. Brunson working from the right side against Thompson. Along the baseline, high post pass Hart, fakes the shot, one dribble, fallback 12-footer, too strong, rebounded by Thompson.
The Knicks have gotten some decent looks. OG Anunoby had one on the left side of the right side of the basket, excuse me.
And that's an offensive foul. Asar Thompson barrels into Jalen Brunson, who takes the charge, and that is personal foul number 2 against Asar Thompson, the primary defender against Jalen Brunson.
So we talked about this a little bit setting up this one, and I'm sure, Pat, you've been a part of these conversations this week as well. And this is a moment where the experience is starting to show. In that, I think the Pistons are playing with a little bit of nerves. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson, being the smart and savvy candidate for clutch player of the year that he is, It's like, okay, young buck, you going to play me physical? I'm going to lean right into that physicality. And he's been able to cause foul trouble early on for Thompson.
Malik Beasley off the bench and into the game, one of the leading candidates for the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year. Here's Towns, passes out of the double team. Anunoby fakes the pass, fires the three, knocks it down, and the Knicks lead 6-3.
I was almost frustrated by that ball fake because I thought Jalen Brunson was absolutely open in the corner, but that's a great shot by Anunoby.
Hardaway Jr., a look from the left corner is no good. Rebounded by Bridges. Knicks look to push a little. 8:50 to go in the first. Knicks lead the Pistons 6-3. Anunoby, right baseline against Cunningham. Loses the handle, gets it back. Fallback 10-footer is good. Back-to-back buckets for Anunoby. Knicks lead 8-3. Timeout Detroit.
This place is electric, as it should be, as the Knicks have gotten off a little slow start, but now that they're going, it's looking pretty good.
Back-to-back buckets for OG Anunoby. He has 5 of the Knicks' 8 points so far. 8:41 to go. Quarter number 1. Garden rocking already. The Knicks are off to an 8-3 lead over the Detroit Pistons. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do you like it to the most?
SiriusXM NFL Radio gets you ready for the NFL Draft on Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app. The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do you like it to the most?
SiriusXM NFL Radio gets you ready for the NFL Draft on Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The first place to talk hoops every weekday morning is the starting lineup with Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine.
Overrated? Do you watch the guy play? He's unstoppable.
They're breaking down all the latest from the association.
I think he's a baller, and I think people would give up assets to get a guy like that.
Along with some laughs.
Kevin Durant, you need to get married and be miserable like the rest of us. Reprimanding the fans for booing. It's like, come on, man.
The starting lineup, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 Eastern. Only on SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the SiriusXM app.
Your home for golf's biggest events is PGA Tour Radio.
It's a Grand Slam roar at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy, he's the 6th in the history of the game to enter golf's greatest group.
Deep down, I always believed that I had the game to win here at Augusta. You know, it was touch and go at times today, but thankfully I was able to get the job done.
PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Back here at the Garden where the Knicks lead the Pistons 8-3, 8:41 to go in the first quarter. For over 160 years, individuals and businesses from Montauk to Manhattan have trusted Dime for all their banking needs. Visit dime.com for more information. Dime, we've got your bank, member FDIC. Asar Thompson picked up his second foul. 2 fouls, in fact, in a 39-second span, Monica. He goes to the bench with 2 fouls. The Knicks respond with a quick 5-0 spurt to build this 5-point lead.
Yeah, and so now you're looking at a lineup of Duren, Cunningham, Beasley, Hardaway Jr., and Harris. And while Tobias Harris, at points, has been labeled a 3-and-D guy, doesn't quite bring the same intensity that Asar Thompson does. But pregame, JB Bickerstaff, a lot of the Detroit media conglomerate wanted to know about Harris in terms of a guy that has postseason experience. And so J.B. Bickerstaff was effusive about what he has brought to the squad and how he's been so willing to give of himself to help these young guys along this season. So his presence, while different from Thompson, certainly advantageous over the course of this season.
It's an interesting Pistons team. A lot of players in their first postseason game today, and they have a handful of veterans with a lot of postseason experience, including Tobias Harris. Chance of defense out of the timeout. Pistons ball. Cunningham left baseline. Cut off by Bridges. Shot clock under 10. Cunningham backing his way in. Turnaround. Flips it up. Short. Hart taps the rebound to himself. Here come the Knicks. They have numbers. Cutting Bridges, lays it up, and in off the glass, and the Knicks lead 10-3.
Fast breaking free throws. The Knicks have been able to find gaps in the fast break. That's a 7-0 run.
In the front court, Hart thought he had another steal, knocking the ball away from Harris, but whistled for a reach-in foul, and that's number 2 against Josh Hart, less than 4 minutes into this game.
He's going to have to be careful because of the energy that he brings. It is vital in terms of the identity of this Knicks squad.
Unlike in Thompson's case, Hart staying on the floor. Beasley pull up top of the key jumper, back rim, front rim, no. Rebounded by Hart. Into the front court with pace, one-on-one, drives on Harris, knocked out of his hands and out of bounds. Knicks ball, 18 to shoot. Hart a little upset there wasn't a foul called there against Tobias Harris. As we look at the replay, he may have had a case. Knicks will inbound on the baseline. Brunson to throw it in, finds Hart on the right wing. Duren gives him some room. It's knocked out of Hart's hands and the Knicks lose it. They say out of bounds off of Josh Hart and a Knicks turnover.
Coach Tom Thibodeau is trying to hear from his second row staff as far as challenging it, but a little too late.
Didn't get the opportunity to do that. A quick inbound. Pistons ball. They trail 10-3. Hardaway Jr. high post pass Duren. They would love to keep Duren out near the three-point arc. He hasn't attempted a three all season long. Harris fakes the three, drives into Hart, trying to avoid that foul, and Towns blocks it out of bounds.
Was there a whistle? It's so loud in here. Or is it just a whistle because the ball goes out of bounds?
Out of bounds whistle.
Okay, got it. It's so loud in here. Love it.
Now Landry Shamet quickly up off the Knicks bench. He's going to replace Josh Hart. There was contact on that last play. Hart did a good job to avoid it, but the Knicks cannot afford to have him pick up his third foul.
These are valuable minutes, and again, Landry Shamet really put the equity in the last month or so of the season to earn these minutes.
Beasley misses a three off the inbound. Hardaway Jr. the offensive rebound. Another three from the left corner, and that's good for Malik Beasley, who had an historic three-point shooting season off the bench this year for the Pistons.
An undeniable sniper, in particular from the corner where he just hit that one.
319 three-pointers in the regular season, second most in the NBA. Mikal Bridges' three is no good off the back of the rim. Here come the Pistons. Knicks lead 10-6, and there's a push in the front court. It's an offensive foul. It's an offensive foul against Jalen Duren, and that's going to be number 2 on the starting center for the Pistons.
The Knicks have done a really good job of playing smart basketball, right? Karl-Anthony Towns is going to his matchup. I had an opportunity to call 2 fouls here versus Duren. Mikal Bridges is going to Duren initially because Duren is running the floor. It's a wide open layup otherwise. As Karl-Anthony Towns is coming to match up, Duren pushes Bridges in the back, which I think is the whistle, but he also offers a forearm shiver with that left arm to Towns as he was attempting to match up, which also could have been a whistle.
So Jalen Duren to the bench. Isaiah Stewart, the backup center for the Pistons, one of the most physical players in the NBA, perhaps the toughest player in the NBA, has checked in for the first time. Bridges kicks it out. Towns fires a left side three. No good off the back of the rim. Shamet taps the rebound, but it's scooped up by Cunningham. Into the front court, Cunningham guarded by Anunoby between the legs a couple of times, loses the handle, gets it back near midcourt. He'll have to reset. Still being chased by Anunoby. High post. Harris foul line jumper is good, and the Knicks lead is 10-8.
So that's Cunningham's second assist, Pat, but he has not scored so far in this contest. And while that 8 assist number is very impressive, he's one of few dudes that have put up the stat line that he has over the course of the season. He has to score for this Pistons team to have a chance.
Brunson around the defender, draws the contact, no whistle, but he still finishes off the glass inside. Second field goal for Brunson. Knicks lead the Pistons 12-8. Cunningham knocked away by Towns. Picked up by Anunoby to the races. Knocked out of his hands and out of bounds. Good hustle by Beasley to come back and stop the fast break by Anunoby. So the Knicks will inbound on the baseline. Jalen Brunson to throw it in again. Inbounds to Towns in the right corner. And there's another whistle as Beasley falls to the floor, but it's Beasley called for the foul. Monica, it is loud as it's been all season long in here. Hard to hear the whistle at the beginning of this one.
That's okay, Pat. We have highly attuned ears. Or we can just have our producer turn up the audio.
Inbound, Bridges, right side, cut off by Hardaway. Backing his way in. They clear out for Bridges. Fall back, 15-footer is good for Mikal Bridges, and the Knicks lead 14-8.
Mikal Bridges with the height advantage over the smaller Tim Hardaway Jr., although there's only an inch listed on the stats, or I don't know if I buy that's only an inch.
Here's Beasley, fakes the three. Bounce pass, left corner. Harris is there. He knocks down a corner three in front of the Pistons bench. Cuts the Knicks lead in half. It's 14-11.
Now, for all the energy, as you mentioned, can barely hear whistles, lots of demonstrating and celebrating after baskets, playing tough. It is still a single possession ball game, and it is just the first quarter.
Beasley guarding Brunson. Around a town screen to the left side. Picked up by Stewart. Fouled by Stewart. Throws it at the basket. No good. But Jalen Brunson will go to the line for two. First foul on Isaiah Stewart, fourth against the Pistons, and Brunson heads to the line.
These are the Knicks' first free throws in this contest, which, when I looked about 3 minutes ago and realized they had not been to the free throw line yet, I couldn't decide if I was surprised by that. The half-court offense up until this point had been off of like the first or second pass, so there was a little bit less orchestration in terms of putting guys in the pick and roll, targeting mismatches. We had Hart and Anunoby each missed layup attempts, and then we had some threes go up. Obviously, Jalen Brunson was able to cash in on one. But I do think getting to the free throw line is an area where the Knicks will have an advantage over the course of this series.
First free throw from Brunson was good. Second one, also good. He has 7 points. To your point, Monica, I agree. It's been a very physical start to this game. So in light of that, somewhat surprising those are the first two free throws for the Knicks. 16-11, Knicks up, 5:10 to go in the first. Dennis Schroeder, the backup point guard in, finds Stewart inside, can't finish off the glass, knocked out of bounds off of Schroeder. Mitchell Robinson has come on for the first time, replacing Karl Anthony Towns. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first. Brunson steps into a straight-on three. No good, it spins out. Cunningham the rebound and looks to push into the front court. Crossover dribble around Bridges, flips it up and in off the glass, falling to the floor. Tough shot for Cunningham. Knicks lead by 3.
High degree of difficulty on Cunningham. You saw his size and strength on display on that one.
Here's Anunoby driving from the right side, comes up short. Mitchell Robinson, offensive rebound, putback is good. Welcome back to the playoffs, Mitchell Robinson. Knicks lead 18-13.
That is, in fact, his specialty, and I really like the initial take by OG Anunoby on the right side of the floor. Attacking that baseline, looked to finish with his left hand as it was the closer hand to the rim. A little too strong off the back iron, but Mitchell Robinson wastes no time getting into that O-boards column.
Delay of game warning against the Knicks. Robinson did not let the ball go through the net. A little excited for his first playoff bucket of the season. 18-13, 4:32 to go here in the first quarter. Cunningham and Schroeder sharing the backcourt for the Pistons. Beasley as well, who's guarded tightly by Shamet. Now Cunningham drives, cut off by Anunoby, switches to the left hand, no good, but Stewart slams home the putback. 18-15, 4:10 to go in quarter number 1. Bridges across the timeline to the right-hand side. Keeps his dribble. Bounce pass, left corner. Anunoby's three is no good off the heel of the rim. Stewart the rebound. Quick outlet to Schroeder.
As anticipated, you mentioned the guys that have had postseason experience for this Pistons squad. Schroeder being one of them. It feels as if the Pistons are settling in, as there was just a deflection. And I think this foul is going to go against OG Anunoby, as Cade Cunningham was sort of in that first row next to the Pistons bench.
It is against Anunoby, and it's his first foul, the third team foul against the Knicks. Hart has the other two. 3:55 to go in the first. Pistons inbound, front court, left side to Cunningham. Anunoby guards him. Hardaway gets free, wide open backdoor. It's found by Cunningham, slams it home.
Just a really great setup by Hardaway. He faked as if he was going to use the Stewart screen, and Jalen Brunson made contact on the screen, and he went the other way, backdoor cut.
Knicks lead down to 1, 18-17. Brunson drives, his pass picked off by Beasley, tries to save it, taken back by Anunoby. Finds Bridges for three, right side, in and out. Anunoby the rebound to Shamet. One dribble, pass deflected and stolen by Hardaway, who is off to the races. slams it down with the right hand, and Detroit takes a 19-18 lead.
It's gotten a little quiet here in the Garden. We can hear those whistles and the sneakers squeaking as the Pistons are on a 6-0 run.
Bridges ends that run with a baseline jumper, putting the Knicks back on top 20-19 from the right side. 3:05 to go in the opening period. Cunningham picked up by Bridges. Circles towards the foul line. He's tripped up. Throws the ball at the basket. Foul on the floor against Mikal Bridges. His first, the team's fourth. And it will bring us to a timeout on the floor. The Knicks holding a 1-point lead.
Buckle up, folks. Even though the Knicks are favored in this one and they are by far the team with more experience, I do not think that this young Pistons squad is a fluke. They may go down, but they will go down swinging.
Total Ortho Express has 4 Long Island locations and provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com. Buckle up indeed. Game 1, first quarter. Knicks lead the Pistons 20-19 with 2:59 to go. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K treatment.
Hey there, game lovers. Ready for some excitement? Chumba Casino is where it's at. It's free to play with hundreds of online social casino games and new releases every week. Play anytime, anywhere, and enjoy free daily login bonuses and a fantastic welcome offer. Whether at home or on the go, play for your chance to redeem some serious prizes with ChumbaCasino.com. Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, Delaware, Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
Back here at the Garden, Knicks leading the Pistons 20-19 with 2:59 to go in the first quarter of Game 1 of this first-round series. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you from a raucous, world's most famous arena. The Knicks have led by as many as 7 points. But look, this Pistons team, as tough as the Knicks saw during the regular season and as tough as advertised, they haven't backed down at all.
No, and they haven't. And they've actually been able to stabilize despite Asar Thompson, one of their best defenders, being riddled with foul trouble early in this ball game, as well as Jalen Duren, right? They've managed to be able to stabilize. They're on a small 6-0 run over the last few baskets. 2 of 3 of those field goal attempts came from your veterans when you look at Harris and Beasley, guys who, to your point, have postseason experiences. So they've been able to stabilize this young team, and it's a 1-point ball game.
Deuce McBride has checked in for the first time. So Anunoby and Brunson, the 2 Knicks starters who remain in the game, as Beasley knocks down a 3 after Shamet got hung up on a screen, and Detroit takes a 22-20 lead. This is their largest lead so far. Brunson left wing with the dribble, guarded by Schroeder. Right wing pass McBride, no hesitation. His 3-pointer is an air ball, and it goes out of bounds to the Pistons.
All right. Shooters got to shoot to get hot, and shooters got to shoot to stay hot. So you got to erase that one and keep letting it fly with confidence. This is the Pistons' first lead, though, Pat, since they led 1-0 early in the ballgame.
Cunningham, top of the arc, still guarded by Anunoby. Couple of dribbles with the left hand, flips it up with the right hand, comes up short. Robinson taps the rebound to Brunson. Knicks looking to push. Brunson, in and out dribble, right to the basket, flips it up, comes up short. Robinson tries to save the possession. It goes out of bounds off of the Knicks.
So interestingly enough, I think Jalen Brunson was looking to survey to see if Landry Shamet was going to angle toward the basket. He kind of stays wide. It would have been a difficult pass as Schroeder was on Brunson's left side and Tobias Harris was in that gap. I'm okay with that take. I get that you're probably not going to get that call in this series as well.
Cade Cunningham has gone to the bench. Ron Holland II, a 19-year-old rookie who was the 5th pick in last year's draft, checks in for the first time. Pistons, the ball in a 2-point lead. Harris from the left elbow, guarded by Anunoby. Backing his way in, turn, fallback jumper, rattles it home. Pistons lead 24-20.
The run is now extended. It is an 11-2 run in favor of the Pistons, and we continue to point out who is leading the charge. It is those veterans on the Pistons roster.
Among them, Tobias Harris. Anunoby to the basket, flips it up and in, off the glass. Knicks back within 2. Minute 35 to go in the first. Schroeder picked up by Brunson, circles to the top of the arc with the left-handed dribble. Tries to drive, cut off by Robinson, underneath the basket, bounces it, tries to save it, ends up in the hands of Harris, still 7 seconds to shoot. His foul line jumper is good. A good start for Tobias Harris with 9 points, and the Knicks trail by 4.
You know, Pat, as we prepared for this one, I've often wondered who are some of the X-Factor type of guys for either team. Tobias Harris could be that for the Pistons and has shown his ability to do that. But meanwhile, OG Anunoby with a terrific response, knocking down a corner 3.
Off a great find from Brunson, a cross-court pass. Anunoby with 10 points, the high scorer in the game so far. Final minute of the first quarter, Knicks trail by 1. Beasley drives, right wing, Holland's 3, no good, McBride the rebound. Holland just a 24% shooter from downtown. Brunson pulls up for 3, in and out, it was halfway down, rebounded by Stewart.
That's not supposed to happen on your home court.
26-25, Brunson cuts off Schroeder. He pops a 3 from the left wing, barely grazes the rim. Holland, though, grabs the offensive rebound. Takes it away from Shamet. Shot clock at 9. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Schroeder drives around Brunson, flips it up. Robinson blocks it. The Pistons want a goaltend. It's a foul against Jalen Brunson. His first with 16.6 seconds to go in the first quarter.
There's no way that's a goaltend.
No.
Though.
But it does send Schroeder to the free throw line. Shot clock is off. 16.6 to go here in the first. Dennis Schroeder, another one of those veterans. It's a good mix of veterans and young, inexperienced players, as his first free throw is good. This is Schroeder's 69th career playoff game, and he averages just about 12 points a game in the postseason.
So often, though, we see, in addition to that, these vets have done a great job of stabilizing this Pistons squad. But so often we see, and even we've seen it with Jalen Brunson, that first rest for your starting point guard. They're able to see the floor, take inventory of what they experienced. Why is Ron Holland holding Jalen Brunson's arm?
It was a good question. I noticed it myself. Second free throw, no good. Towns is back in the game. Shot clock is off. Knicks trailing by 2. Final shot here of the first quarter. 4 seconds to go. Brunson, bounce pass. Anunoby, step back jumper. Good at the buzzer. Big first quarter for OG Anunoby, and that ties the score at 27.
Great read by OG Anunoby. As you pointed out, the shot clock was down to 4. Wondering if the Knicks were fully aware of the shot clock. They were indeed. OG Anunoby being guarded by Dennis Schroeder, who gives up pounds and inches. A beautiful step back at the buzzer.
Monica, you and I were both wondering why Ron Holland, a rookie no less, was grabbing the arm of Jalen Brunson. It looks like Rick Brunson is wondering the same thing, because he's having a conversation with the crew chief, John Goebel, as both teams head back to their benches. Entertaining first quarter at the Garden in the books, with the Knicks and the Pistons all tied up at 27. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Los Angeles Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss sat down for a 3-hour discussion with Rob Perez and Antonio Daniels on SiriusXM NBA Radio.
I've never articulated this before. This is something you have to see in person. Luka does these things that you're like, where did that come from? Where did he come up with that? Teaming him with LeBron, and it's so exciting to watch.
Hear the full interview with Jeannie Buss whenever you want with the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
The best place to get your basketball fix every weekday is Give and Go with Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez, and former NBA champion Antonio Daniels on NBA Radio.
If you got Steph, you got a chance.
Evan Mobley, his unicorn status is about to be unlocked.
They'll cover every story and talk to great guests across the association every afternoon.
NBA Hall of Famer Mike Breen.
Anything shy of certainly the finals would be a disappointment for the Celtics.
It's Give and Go, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
An exciting new era has just arrived.
In 2015, Jordan Spieth produced a year for the ages. The Masters, the U.S. Open, the ridiculous putting. Let's revisit the Golden Child's golden season. Listen to 2015, the year of Jordan Spieth. Hosted by yours truly, Colt Knost. And browse the entire catalog of golf originals. Search PGA Tour radio specials on the SiriusXM app.
Lender.
Few things get the Garden crowd fired up than the presence of Patrick Ewing inside the world's most famous arena. He was just up on Garden Vision as we get set for the start of the second quarter. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. Knicks and Pistons tied at 27. OG Anunoby's buzzer-beating jumper at the end of the first, capping a big first quarter for him. He played all 12 minutes and has a game-high 12 points.
Yeah, he... down the stretch in that first quarter, you mentioned the 12 points, but he scored the final 7 to end the first quarter, and that's hugely important in terms of starting to bring this game back into a one-possession seesaw type affair as it is tied up at the end of the first quarter. Now, I will also add this. Asar Thompson played just 3 minutes in that one, less than 3 minutes technically, 2:39 due to foul trouble, and Cade Cunningham still has just 2 points in this one. I was surprised, though, Pat, that I shouldn't say surprised, pleasantly surprised that Landry Shamet got the nod before Deuce McBride, but we do start the second quarter with both those guys and Cameron Payne on the floor.
So all three guards off the bench on the floor. Payne wasting no time, and he knocks down a top-of-the-arc three just into the game, giving the Knicks a 30-27 lead.
Now, this group likes to play at the pace that the Pistons also like to play at, but they're going with their backup point guard in Dennis Schroeder.
Josh Hart also back on the floor. He only played 4.5 minutes in the first quarter as he picked up 2 fouls. Tim Hardaway Jr. answers with a 3, and we're all tied at 30.
So there were 6 threes hit combined in that first quarter. It feels like we might be on 3 watch in this second quarter.
McBride, Payne, Shamet, Towns, Hart. Here's Towns backing in against Harris from the left block. Ball back, no good. But there's a whistle and a defensive 3 seconds against the Pistons.
It's Jalen Duren, who was in help underneath the basket, but just kind of standing idly. Can't do that.
So Karl Anthony Towns, who led the Knicks in free throw shooting during the regular season by a hair over Jalen Brunson, takes the attempt and he makes it. That's Towns' first point of the night, and it gives the Knicks a 31-30 lead.
So one thing I will add about Towns, and this also probably applies to Cade Cunningham, although both of those guys are important to their team's offense. I appreciate that neither of them have really forced the issue. They're waiting for the shots to come or the opportunity to create in rhythm.
Here's Towns, finds the cutter, backdoor, Shamet finishes the reverse, and the Knicks lead by 3.
What an excellent pass and a great backdoor cut by Landry Shamet, catching this defender sleeping.
33-30, Knicks. Minute gone by in the second. Jalen Duren with 2 fouls back in, holds it at the top of the arc, finds Schroeder on the left side, cut off by McBride. They clear out for Schroeder, tries to drive, stops his dribble at the foul line, up top for Harris. Shot clock at 2. Harris is fouled by Hart. That's going to be number 3 on Josh Hart. It comes with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, man, Josh Hart just gets that right arm almost stuck on the left arm of Tobias Harris as he goes up for a free throw. Nothing to contend there. It's an obvious foul. We'll see how Tibbs reacts as far as the rotation.
So Josh Hart, as Harris's first free throw is good, picked up 2 fouls early in the first quarter, played the first 4.5 minutes and sat the rest of the period. Starts the second quarter on the floor and picks up his 3rd. So important in all areas of what the Knicks do. Has not been able to get into a rhythm yet tonight. Harris's second is good. Knicks lead 33-32.
Hart does have 3 rebounds and 2 assists, though. So offensive rebound, not quite there, but just things that he does, to your point. He's been able to impact the game in that way.
Here's Payne in the front court, gives it back to McBride on the right side. McBride, shovel pass to Hart, hands it right back to McBride. His pass deflected and stolen by Schroeder. He left his feet, had nowhere to go. Harris, right side, into the corner for Hardaway Jr. Fires a quick 3, no good, back rim. Rebound tapped into the hands of Towns. Outlet pass to Shamet in the front court. Shamet one-on-one with Schroeder, cross court. Payne lines up a 3-pointer, no good. Rebound tapped by Hart, picked up by Duren, and here come the Pistons. Hart nearly came up with a steal from behind. Schroeder cut off by Shamet, backs it out of the top of the arc. Right side Duren, hands to Harris, foul line jumper, spins out, but it's slammed back home by Jalen Duren, his first field goal of the night.
I think Tibbs is going to have to get Hart out of there because even the way that he's defending these last 2 possessions, you can tell that he's thinking about having that 3rd foul.
Knicks now trail 34-33. Towns from the top of the arc. Harris all the way up on him. Towns down the lane, all the way to the basket, powers his way and finishes.
Put that on repeat. The Pistons do not have an answer for Karl Anthony Towns.
Here's Schroeder, left side around the screen, pull-up jumper, no good. Towns the rebound, Knicks looking to push. Outlet to Hart. Into the front court, Shamet turns the corner and he's blocked and fouled at the rim. Shamet going up for the dunk attempt. It was a strong contest by Jalen Duren, and that's his 3rd foul.
Duren signaled to the Pistons bench immediately that he wanted a challenge. I actually think there is grounds to challenge. The issue here is going to be the timing. Does his right hand get the ball before his left hand gets the arm of Landry Shamet?
J.B. Bickerstaff has called timeout.
Timeout, Detroit. Coach's challenge. The challenging and defensive foul call on the floor.
It's a big challenge early in this game because Jalen Duren has picked up his 3rd personal foul if the call stands. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hey, this is Brian Geltzeiler. Wake up early with me in 2007 NBA Coach of the Year Sam Mitchell every Saturday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern as we break down everything NBA on Channel 86.
Back and forth, first half, Knicks lead the Pistons 35-34, 9:20 to go in the second quarter. Timeout Detroit to challenge the foul call against Jalen Duren. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been serving New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for 30 years. They offer premier customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate traveling experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call 212-206-6974.
Not hungry right now? Think about a burger. Still not hungry? Think about a smash burger. Yeah, that's what we thought. Can you hear the sizzle of the griddle? Can you smell the Angus beef? Can you taste the charred perfection? The hunger's kicked in. The salivary glands have turned on like a spigot. It's time to make it yours. Go to smashburger.com to find the closest spot.
Because growing a business keeps you on the go. We've got your bank. Because a steady cash flow is the lifeblood of your bottom line. We've got your bank. Because your workday simply doesn't stop at 5 o'clock. we've got your bank. Dime Community Bank gives you the digital tools you need to simplify your business banking, even deposit checks, anytime from anywhere. And we back our technology with a team that's always there, wherever business takes you. Visit Dime.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Grand Marnier is an award-winning blend of fine cognac and orange liqueur. It's made for those who live to step outside the box, who like to put a twist on the traditional and believe in a world that's not just good, but grand. Visit grandmarnier.com to learn how to take cocktails from ordinary to extraordinary and live grand. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2022, Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style. Always drink responsibly.
Back here at the Garden, and a successful challenge for Pistons head coach J.B. Bickerstaff, a double whammy for the Knicks. Not only is the foul call against Jalen Duren reversed, but upon review, imminent possession was gained by the Pistons. So they will have possession of the ball coming out of this after the block by Jalen Duren.
The imminent possession part of that rule is such a sneaky little difference maker.
It's like a two-step approach to a challenge. Yes, you can overturn the call, but if you can get possession out of it, even more successful. Meanwhile, Monica, Josh Hart is indeed back on the Knicks bench with 3 personal fouls. Mitchell Robinson is in the game for Hart. So for the first time in this series, we have Robinson and Towns on the floor together, and for good measure, OG Anunoby is checked back in.
This is the
jumbo lineup.
Yeah, this is the jumbo lineup that fans have been wondering about, clamoring for. And not quite the jumbo lineup in terms of your supporting crew as far as your guards. You got McBride and Payne out there, but this is a good opportunity to see what this is going to look like versus the Pistons.
Got the speedy backcourt out there of McBride and Payne. A good contest by Robinson. An air ball 3 by Cunningham, and the ball is out of bounds off of Ron Holland, who tried to save it.
Okay, on that air ball 3, part of the reason that it was an air ball was because Mitchell Robinson did such a great job of being up at the level and meeting Cade Cunningham off that screen and contesting that jump shot.
Cunningham 1 for 5 to start. Knicks with the ball leading 35-34. Towns, jump shot, over Harris, knocks it down. Knicks lead by 3. Towns has enjoyed that matchup with Tobias Harris the last couple of trips. Now Towns against Cunningham on a switch. His jumper is short. Towns the rebound, outlet to McBride on the right side. Slows up his dribble.
You gotta go to Towns on the post-up.
Towns working against Cunningham. They get it to him on the baseline. One dribble, flips it up, and in along the baseline. Back-to-back buckets for Cat. Knicks back up by 5.
After putting up a donut in the first quarter, Karl-Anthony Towns now has 7 points in this second quarter.
Garden crowd right back in it. Schroeder's entry pass to Cunningham is deflected and then picked up by Cunningham. His slip pass to Duren. Right wing, Holland travel against the rookie. 4 minutes gone by in the second. Knicks lead 39-34.
Basketball is indeed a game of runs. And Karl-Anthony Towns is on a personal run of his own. He scored the last 6 points in the game. Now, J.B. Bickerstaff gets some reinforcements on the floor as Asar Thompson checks in, as did Jalen Duren, or no, Malik Beasley came in with Thompson.
They go right back to Towns on the left baseline. A whistle away from the ball. And it's another defensive 3-second violation against the Pistons, sending Towns right back to the free throw line to shoot the technical.
And these are some of the rookie mistakes, right? Like, this is where inexperience is showing up. Jalen Duren just has to be more mindful. Like, he's giving away points.
Duren, 21 years old, 3rd year out of Memphis. Towns' free throw is good. He's got 8 points, all of them in the quarter, along with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and a steal.
OG Anunoby had a quick contact adjustment.
Knicks trainer Anthony Goenaga, quick to get Anunoby back up and running. Knicks front court inbound to McBride. 10 seconds to shoot, 7:50 to go here in the first half. Towns again, one-on-one with Harris. Drives on him. Ball back, jumper, no good front rim. Rebounded by Cunningham. Towns and Harris go barreling into the front row. 4-on-4 basketball. Towns has rejoined the party. Payne working hard against Beasley. His jumper is no good. Rebounded by Robinson.
Both Robinson and Towns are going after that same rebound, a byproduct of the jumbo lineup.
Anunoby against Cade Cunningham. A quick whistle and a reach-in against Cunningham on the entry pass. It'll be his first and the first team foul against Detroit.
That was a really quick whistle. And from our angle, on the establishment, Cade Cunningham has a handful of the jersey of OG Anunoby as he turns to face up. It's pretty obvious. He basically pulls his jersey up over his back.
With 7:22 to go in the second, Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges back in for Cameron Payne and Deuce McBride.
Now, here is the vision of the promise, and some folks may alternate a Josh Hart on this lineup for either Anunoby or Bridges, but remember, those two guys are a little bit more confident and consistent as three-point shooters, and so they give you space that's necessary when you got Robinson and Towns on the floor.
Thompson, now it's Beasley guarding Brunson. Between the legs a couple of times. Around a Robinson screen, pull-up jumper short, long rebound, scooped up by Beasley and a quick outlet to Cunningham. 40-34, Knicks by 6. Harris, right wing three, front rim, and it rolls all the way around and falls in. A three-pointer for Tobias Harris. It's been that kind of first half for him. Knicks lead is trimmed to 3.
Harris leading all scorers for Detroit with 11 points.
Here's Towns backing his way in against the double team. Finds an open Brunson, fakes the pass, now Bridges, entry pass, Anunoby goes up for the dunk. It rolls around and falls through, but wave it off. As it fell through, Anunoby was still hanging on the rim. It is offensive basket interference.
He's hanging on the rim because Duren is right there. That does, no? Okay, all right, no consideration on that. Cool.
Take those points off the board for the Knicks. Pistons ball, Knicks lead 40-37. Bridges guards Cunningham. He brings it right side. Crossover dribble towards the center. Stop, ball back, 12-footer is good. Just the second field goal for Cade Cunningham, but it makes it a one-point game.
The pace of this one has slowed, and the Pistons look as comfortable as they have at any point in this ballgame now. Just 9 fast break points combined. The Pistons still managed to have 7 so far in this one.
Brunson is bumped, falls into the front row, celebrity row, and that foul is against Jalen Duren. And make no mistake, that is personal foul number 3 against the Pistons center.
So if I'm the Pistons, Jalen Duren has to sell out when he comes to hedge on this screen. But if you're the New York Knicks, this is why Jalen Brunson proves to be so difficult to guard.
Duren back to the bench. Isaiah Stewart checks back in off the inbound. Bridges circling under the basket. Finds Brunson up top. Fakes the 3. Couple dribbles. His floater no good. Rebound grabbed by Harris. Outlet pass to Beasley. Beasley now, right wing, lines up a three-pointer and knocks it down, and the Pistons are back on top.
This is the
42-40.
This is the 8th lead change in this ball game, too, Pat. Ooh, man, did I tell you how to buckle up already?
Malik Beasley off the bench already with 3 three-pointers. Here's Anunoby, quick release 3 from the left corner, no good. Rebound is grabbed by Thompson. Harris, a quick 3 right side, no good. Towns all alone for the rebound. It's an 8-0 Pistons run. Bridges stops his dribble, right side. His pass into space, run down by Brunson, floater no good, tapped up and in by Robinson. There's Mitch on the offensive boards. We're tied at 42 with 5 minutes to go in the second. Beasley wide open from 3. His 4th of the first half is good. The one guy you can't leave wide open. (45-42). Now Towns, guarded by Harris, 1 dribble. Floater is good along the baseline, and Towns has had a huge second quarter.
Towns has been the answer to any question so far for the Knicks. When this offense stalls, they need a basket, they want to pin a foul on somebody.
45-44, Cunningham, fall back on the right baseline, no. Robinson, the rebound in traffic. Brunson's got to get it across the timeline and does with a second to spare. Coming up on 4 minutes to play in the second. Brunson beats his man. Floater no good. Robinson slams it down with the right hand.
Mitchell Robinson. He said he was feeling good. He played that whole quarter in Cleveland. His stamina is up. His attentiveness is there. He's been terrific in this one.
Knicks back up by a point. Beasley fakes a logo three. Now he pulls up for a regular three. No good off the front of the rim. Towns the rebound. Outlet to Anunoby. One man to beat. Drives at Cunningham. He's wrapped up and fouled going to the basket. Number 2 against Cade Cunningham with 3:41 to go in the second, and the Knicks leading by a point.
I get why Cunningham takes that foul there because this game is so tight. It's been back and forth. We mentioned the 8 lead changes so far in the second quarter. There's probably more at this point, now up to 9. But Cunningham doesn't want to give up an easy 2, and he is still contending that he got all ball on that one.
Come on. First free throw good for OG Anunoby. And before he attempts the second, JB Bickerstaff wants to talk things over and calls a timeout. So we've got 3:41 to go in the second. And the Knicks, with a free throw coming for OG Anunoby, have a 47-45 lead over the Detroit Pistons. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Hey, do you ever wonder how life might look if you'd saved a little more? Well, April is Financial Literacy Month, and Planned to AT is here to help. We're a nonprofit helping young people improve their futures through financial wellness education. Our fun, simple workshops help students build healthy money habits and get them ready for the workforce. Text PTAT to 26989 to learn how you and your company can get involved. That's PTAT to 26989.
The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do we like it?
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is TSI Mike, and now that we've got your attention, we're bringing you every single game of the NBA and NHL playoffs while supporting SickKids Hospital in Toronto through our Playoff Pulse campaign. Let's grow our global community. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell, and join the action.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Joe Bowen here, voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Playoff Pulse on Toronto Sports Insider is all about playoff thrills and making a difference, with 100% of Leaf playoff stream revenue going directly to SickKids for their life-saving treatments and research. We're aiming for 100,000 insiders to boost our impact. So subscribe now and be a part of this incredible movement. Holy Mackinac! Let's show SickKids Hospital we're here for them. Join us today.
Hey you, yeah you, Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect here. I'm loving these Playoff Pulse live hangouts. Subscribe and turn on the bell to catch every game. Keep the chat buzzing and let's cheer for SickKids together. See you in the chat.
On top by 2, but one of the things that was just pointed out to us during the break, Monica, the Knicks in the first half getting good production off of their bench.
Yeah, absolutely. 11 points from their bench in 32 minutes, and a lot of that obviously is the combination of Shamet, Payne, and McBride, who all came in and were able to impact the game. McBride, the only one of those 2 guys that did not score. Shamet led the way Payne led the way in the scoring category with a 3 that he hit.
And then, of course, there's Mitchell Robinson.
Ooh, yeah.
6 points, 5 rebounds in his 11 first-half minutes. Out of the timeout, OG Anunoby will have 1 more free throw. It is time now for Owner of Free Throws, brought to you by Chumba Casino. The Knicks so far 5 for 5 from the line, 2 for 2 from Towns, both of those because of technical fouls, courtesy of defensive 3-second calls against the Pistons at Jalen Duren. That was Owner of Free Throws, brought to you by Chumba Casino, where any moment can be your moment. With free daily login bonuses, serious prizes, and hundreds of online social casino-style games, turn your free time into a good time with Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Anunoby sets himself for the second. It's good. The Knicks back on top by 3, 48-45.
This next 341, Pat, to me, the Knicks have an opportunity to create a little bit of distance. Now, I don't want to disrespect the Pistons, and I understand that this game has included 9 lead changes so far just in the second quarter. But the Knicks, I think if they can stack a few possessions together, defensively first, they should be able to create a 2 to 3 possession margin by halftime.
There's a whistle away from the ball. It's a reach-in foul against Mikal Bridges. Reaching out and grabbing Malik Beasley. It's the second foul against Bridges. Off the inbound, Cunningham drives right at Robinson, blocked out of bounds by Mitchell Robinson. Anunoby was right there as well. Robinson's big first half continues with his second block.
Yeah, his timing has been so great. And often when you talk about guys coming back from an injury, yes, in the regular season, then you add the layer of the playoffs. But Mitchell Robinson looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
Three-pointer off the inbound is good for Tobias Harris, and we're all tied again at 48, our 5th tie of the game.
Tobias Harris, 3-and-D caliber guy, a known three-point shooter in this league. The Knicks have to do a better job of finding and disrupting his rhythm.
Harris has 17 points, and Beasley has 12. They're carrying the scoring load for the Pistons. Robinson, high post. Couple dribbles against Stewart, finds Anunoby, fakes the three, bounce pass, right side. Brunson spotting up, and he did not get the shot off in time. It's a 24-second violation against the Knicks. 3:01 to go until halftime. Knicks and Pistons tied at 48.
Overall, the Knicks have done a pretty good job not turning the ball over. They have 5 turnovers on the game. The Pistons have 7.
Cunningham picked up by Anunoby, who's been guarding in the majority of the first half. Beasley, couple dribbles, blocked by Bridges on the jump shot attempt. Beasley gets it back, 4 seconds to shoot against Bridges. Beasley loses his footing, and a foul is called against the Knicks. And if that's against Bridges, that's going to be his 3rd.
The fouls are quietly piling up for both groups. This probably will be against Bridges, unfortunately.
It looked like Bridges got him with the hip as Beasley was trying to turn the corner. Now the Knicks are not over the limit. Bridges is staying in the game. It's a foul on the floor. Detroit will inbound adjacent to their bench in the front court.
Well, let's just recount real quick. Bridges now has 3. Josh Hart also has 3.
Cunningham has it knocked away. Pile up on the loose ball on the floor. Cunningham, Towns, and Bridges. And now there's a little bit of a skirmish as players have to be separated.
Karl-Anthony Towns not letting go of the basketball, and I personally love a little bit of that, Pat. We talked a little bit pregame about Dan about the perceived toughness in this one, right? Like, you don't necessarily have to be beef stew chasing LeBron James through a tunnel to demonstrate toughness. And so I think that was a moment of that for Karl-Anthony Towns, and I'm for all of it.
So it'll be Towns and Cunningham jumping it up. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Pistons. Towns taps it into the hands of Bridges. 2:30 to go in the first half. Knicks and Pistons tied at 48. Bridges, crossover dribble, foul line, jumper, no good. Robinson fighting for the offensive rebound, but he couldn't save it. It's out of bounds.
I don't know that I love that take by Mikal Bridges. I think you can get that anytime in a possession. There are practically 4 Pistons around him when he took that shot.
2:15 to go in the first half. Anunoby picks up Cunningham across the timeline. Patiently waiting for Beasley, who loses his footing, falls to the floor again, taken by Anunoby. Scoops the pass to Brunson, who drives around. Cunningham floats it up, no good, off the glass. Stewart the rebound. Pistons looking to push. Schroeder in the front court gets it back from Beasley. Wide open inside is Harris. He's met by Robinson and fouled with 1:53 to go in the second.
So the Knicks just lost their way a bit on that one, playing a little bit too fast. Even offensively, I would contend. That's kind of a wild, tough shot by Jalen Brunson. And what happens when he takes that shot is no one's in real position to clean up the glass. Mitchell Robinson did his best, but then on the way down, the matchups weren't there. Everybody didn't hustle back, and so Robinson has to come over and help and contest and picks up this foul against Harris, who is leading all scorers in this ball game, but also certainly all Pistons scorers with 17 points on the night.
Tobias Harris to the line for 2. The last time he played against the Knicks in the playoffs, as the first one is good, Philadelphia fans remember that he was scoreless in the Knicks closeout Game 6 victory last year in Philly. What Sixers fans neglect to point out is that in Game 5 here at the Garden, when they kept their season alive, Tobias Harris scored 19 points. In what is known as the Tyrese Maxey game.
I was just about to say, it wasn't just Tyrese Maxey fighting through an air quotes around cold in that one.
Both free throws good for Harris. He has matched that 19-point total here in the first half, and the Knicks trail again 50-48. McBride back in for Bridges. Bridges and Hart both on the bench with 3 fouls. 1:40 to go in the second. Schroeder guarding Brunson. Brunson's 2 for 12 from the field. Tries to get free. Stops. Fall back. Jumper short. And a late whistle. It's against the Pistons on the floor.
This is against
Stewart. It's usually a safe guess.
Yeah. And it looks like it's a little extracurricular on the block out of Stewart trying to clear out Mitchell Robinson.
So the fouls mounting on the Detroit side as well. 2 for Stewart, 3 for Duren. Knicks inbound, Brunson gets it back. Foul line, jumper, good for Jalen Brunson. He's got 9, and we're tied at 50.
It's a great take by Jalen Brunson. Really sets that one up, makes Dennis Schroeder have to work off those screens and finally gets to his money in the mid-range. That is his first points of the second quarter.
Cunningham trying to drive on Anunoby, forced into a tough shot, and he knocks it down from 12 feet away. 52-50, final minute of the second quarter. Pistons lead by 2. It has been an intense start to this series. Brunson stops his dribble, cross-court Anunoby left corner, drives baseline, cut off, and a foul against Cade Cunningham. And that is number 3 against the all-star point guard of the Pistons.
Cade Cunningham is going to be hard-pressed to get that call to go in his favor. He's practically standing up already when he tries to cut OG Anunoby off on the baseline. That's a hip check. You're not in a stance. You don't get the benefit of the doubt.
So Anunoby to the line for 2. First one is good. Anunoby has 15 points to lead the way for the Knicks. For the Pistons, Cunningham and Duren have 3 fouls each.
So it's so interesting because we've got nobody's really scored steadily except for Tobias Harris, because OG Anunoby had 12 points in the first quarter and now working on point number 4 in the second quarter.
And he's got it. Second free throw good. Ties the score at 52. 10 lead changes, and this is the 7th tie. Dennis Schroeder across the timeline, directing traffic. Dribbles with the left hand. Little pitch and catch with Beasley. Beasley, his pass to him is picked off by Robinson. Outlet to Anunoby for 3, and he knocks it down for the left side. Anunoby with 19 points. Knicks lead by 3.
He's 3 of 5 from the three-point line so far in this ballgame. But Mitchell Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, on the glass and in the lanes, causes that steal that leads to that transition 3.
Loud chance of defense at the Garden. Shot clock approaching 10. Schroeder knocked away by McBride. Goes to the floor. There's a pile-up and a jump ball. McBride and Stewart. Tom Thibodeau is all the way out on the floor past midcourt. So is J.B. Bickerstaff. Neither head coach is happy with what transpired. And Bill Kennedy emerges from the pile and awards a timeout to Deuce McBride and the Knicks.
I do believe, Pat, that's what they call home court advantage.
That's what you play all 82 games for, isn't it?
Come on now. It matters.
McBride knocked the ball away and immediately signaled for timeout. It wasn't immediately granted, but it ultimately was. So the Knicks will have a final possession here of the second quarter with 15.8 seconds to go and leading 55-52.
I tell you what, though, that's back-to-back possessions with incredible defensive possessions. And we talked about being able to stack to create a little bit of distance. Not as much distance as I had hoped for, but you get two all-out defensive plays to help you have some momentum going into halftime.
Bodega Cat Whiskey, a deliciously smooth rye whiskey founded by Mark Norman and Sam Morrill. Get 10% off your first order with promo code New York at bodegacatwhiskey.com or grab a bottle at the Wine Guy in Smithtown. Monica, you look at the first half minutes distribution, a couple things jump out. Josh Hart limited to 7 because he's been in foul trouble. Mitchell Robinson has already played 14 minutes off the bench, and you have spoken about his impact so far for the Knicks.
Yeah, I just really like the energy that he's played with. He's gotten to the glass in this one. He's obviously come up with a big steal. He's got 5 rebounds already, Pat. 1 block, 1 steal, 6 points.
Inbound to Brunson. Robinson on the bench. Bridges back in for this final offensive possession. 10 seconds to go in the half. Knicks lead by 3. Brunson turns the corner on the left side. In and out dribble. Floats it up and in with the right hand off the glass. Knicks lead by 5. 4.3 seconds to go. Inbound to Harris near midcourt. A couple of dribbles. Fires a 3. Knocks it down. 0.2 seconds to go. McBride inbounds. The first half comes to an end. Tobias Harris has 22 points, but the Knicks lead the Pistons 57-55.
So Tobias Harris's 3 disrupts what would have been a 7-0 run in favor of the Knicks. So now it's 7-3 to end that quarter, and the Knicks are clinging to a 2-point lead. The one thing I will say, though, Pat, the balanced scoring by the Knicks, the balanced effort in multiple categories by the Knicks is a good sign. But defensively, they're going to have to figure out a way to slow Tobias Harris. Although I must say, if Tobias Harris is your high scorer, would you keep Cade Cunningham held below his averages, although he already has 6 assists? I'm willing to live with that.
6 points, 3 for 10 shooting for Cade Cunningham. The Knicks have done a terrific job on him defensively. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. Knicks lead the Pistons 57-55 at halftime of game number 1. Plenty for Dan Grossa to break down on the halftime report. That is coming up next. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Hey, basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
To win the NBA Finals, everything needs to line up perfectly. No different than finding the person you want to marry. When the time comes to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. They'll make shopping for a ring easy. Let them help you pick or design the perfect ring to fit any budget from their 2 by London collection. London Jewelers is committed to getting it just right. So visit London Jewelers today at any of their 6 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the mall at Short Hills. Mention I told you to stop by. You'll get the Michael K. treatment.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Stay in the game with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup options. The easy and secure way to grab your orders on your schedule. Whether you're hustling between work, home, or your game day spot, choose Amazon Locker or Counter for secure and convenient pickup. At checkout, simply select the pickup location that works best for you. Amazon Pickup is a slam dunk. It's the worry-free option, all at no extra cost. Find your nearest pickup location at amazon.com/pickup MVP. That's amazon.com/pickup MVP.
This is the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. Now, here's Dan Graca.
And it's time now for the New York Knicks halftime report, which is brought to you by Spectrum. Dan Graca with you, and a good first half over at Madison Square Garden, where the Knickerbockers have a 57-55 lead over the Detroit Pistons in Game 1 of the first round best of 7. Let's get right now to the best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger. And when you talk about the Knicks' performance in those opening 24 minutes, well, it begins and ends with the play of OG Anunoby.
Right baseline against Cunningham, loses the handle, gets it back. Fallback 10-footer is good. Back-to-back buckets for Anunoby. Knicks lead 8-3. Timeout Detroit.
And Anunoby, the high man right now for this Knickerbocker basketball team. He's got 19 points on 6 of 11 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. And you remember OG closed out the regular season with scoring 20 or more points in 10 of the last 12 games. He leads the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, 11 points, but struggling from the floor. He's just 4 of 15. And really, that's kind of also been the theme when you look at the star point guards for both clubs in that first half. Yes, it's a 2-point game, but Brunson really is yet to get into a rhythm. And neither is Cade Cunningham over on the Pistons side. He just has 6 points in the opening half on 3 of 10 from the floor. Knicks doing a good job showing him multiple looks as far as the defense is concerned. Cunningham also saddled with 3 first-half fouls, which we'll get to in a minute. Instead, it's the Long Island native Tobias Harris who has kept the Pistons afloat here. 22 points to lead all scorers. He's 7 of 10, including 4 of 5 from 3. Malik Beasley with 12 points off the bench for the Pistons. Karl Anthony Towns has 10 points for the New York Knickerbockers. As far as their foul trouble is concerned, well, Mikal Bridges has 3 fouls. Josh Hart just playing 7 minutes in that opening half. 3 fouls. No points on the scoreboard for Josh. But meantime, you look at some of the bench contributors for Tom Thibodeau's team. Mitchell Robinson playing 14 minutes in that opening half. Has 6 points, 5 rebounds. Real good minutes from Mitch. 10 minutes as well from Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet as the Knicks try to maybe get some breathing room in this opening half. They had a biggest lead of 7, and they lead by just a bucket at the end of 2 quarters of play. As far as three-point shooting is concerned, really neither one of these teams is, lives or dies by the 3. And the Pistons, particularly not known for it, but they're shooting 50% from beyond the arc at 9 of 18. Knicks 5 of 14. Pistons like to push the tempo, really initiate the pace. As far as the fast break buckets, though, are concerned here, Pistons just +3 in that territory, 10-7 over the Knickerbockers, and the turnovers mounting for Detroit, and they've been costly. Pistons have turned it over 11 times that opening half to 12 points off the turnovers for the Knickerbockers to look to keep that going in the second half of this game. And that was the best parts of the half, brought to you by Smashburger. With locations throughout the New York City area, Smashburger is ready to greet you with a variety of smash-to-order burgers, fries and sides, milkshakes, and more. To find your nearest location or to place an order today, visit smashburger.com. Play Knicks Game Day Bingo exclusively on the Knicks app for a chance to win a signed item. You can download the Knicks app to start playing now. This, of course, day one of the NBA playoffs first round action. 4 games on the schedule. 2 of them already have been completed. Indiana took care of the Milwaukee Bucks to jump out 1-0 in that best of 7, 117-98 the final, as the Pacers built a 24-point halftime lead. Pascal Siakam, 25 points and 7 rebounds. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 36 points and 12 rebounds in the loss. Bucks were without the services of Dame Lillard, who hopes to make his return sometime in this series. Milwaukee just 9 of 37 from 3. They were the best three-point shooting team in the NBA during the regular season. A thriller in Denver, where the Nuggets outlasted the Clippers 112-110 in overtime. Nikola Jokic, 29 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals. Just a typical day at the office for the MVP a few times over. Jamal Murray, 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. James Harden was outstanding in defeat for the Clippers, 32 points and 11 assists. Denver trailed by as many as 15 in the opening half, and they improved to 4-0 under their interim coach, David Adelman. Clippers, meantime, losing their first game since March the 30th. They had won 18 of 21 heading into the playoffs. And coming up in about an hour from now, it'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves visiting the LA Lakers. The team split 4 regular season meetings. However, 3 of the 4 came before the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic. Minnesota, meantime, winners of 17 of 21 to end the regular season. Once again, our score here is 57-55 with the Knickerbockers on top of the Detroit Pistons. Of course, playoff basketball in the world's most famous arena, nothing quite like it. Tom Thibodeau was asked yesterday what he remembers about certain great playoff moments at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and I was here during the 90s when we had a great run then. I've always said this, I grew up in Connecticut, so well aware of, the fan base and what basketball means to the city, what the Knicks mean to the city. And so it's a privilege to be a coach here, to play here. The Garden is special, it's unique. I think the best environment, in the world to play in. So go out there, play as hard as you can. And, if you put everything you have into something, it'll be an appreciation for it.
Meantime, Jalen Brunson talked about what playing playoff basketball is like at MSG.
Unbelievable. The atmosphere, the energy, all of that is something that you can describe, you can talk about, you can tell your friends about, but it's nothing like it when you experience it. It's like a story you tell, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's really cool." And then once they go through it, you're just, "Whoa!" That's how I feel about it.
And that is Jalen Brunson, 57-55 Knicks over the Pistons at halftime at MSG. Time for this date in Knicks history. On April the 19th, 1984, the great Bernard King scored 23 consecutive points in the first quarter en route to a Knicks playoff high 46 points, but they did lose in Detroit 113-105 in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs first round, tying the series at 1-1. Knicks would, of course, come back and win that series in 5. And on April 19th, 2000, Patrick Ewing played his final regular season game as a Knicks, scoring 15 points, grabbing 4 rebounds over 22 minutes in a 112-85 loss in Boston. Join us at the Garden for game number 2 to see the Knicks take on the Pistons. That'll be Monday on April the 21st. Head to Knicks.com to get your tickets. And that was the New York Knicks halftime report, brought to you by Spectrum, a fast and reliable connection backed by a 100% U.S.-based workforce, so you get the best customer service experience possible. Spectrum. I'll talk to you again coming up in the postgame show, but next we'll send it right back to MSG as Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt have the second half for you. Knicks leading the Detroit Pistons by a score of 57-55. And you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This has been the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. The second half is coming right up.
Los Angeles Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss sat down for a 3-hour discussion with Rob Perez and Antonio Daniels on SiriusXM NBA Radio.
I've never articulated this before. This is something you have to see in person. Luka does these things that you're like, where did that come from? Where did he come up with that? Teaming him with LeBron, and it's so exciting to watch.
Hear the full interview with Jeannie Buss whenever you want with the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
The best place to get your basketball fix every weekday is Give and Go with Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez, and former NBA champion Antonio Daniels on NBA Radio.
If you got Steph, you got a chance.
Evan Mobley, his unicorn status is about to be unlocked.
They'll cover every story and talk to great guests across the association every afternoon.
NBA Hall of Famer Mike Breen.
Anything shy of certainly the finals would be a disappointment for the Celtics.
It's Give and Go, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
While you're listening to this game on Sirius XM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
Back here at the Garden, getting set for the start of the second half. Round one, game one, Knicks and the Pistons. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you from the world's most famous arena. A tightly played first half. Knicks lead 57-55. It was a first half that included 7 ties and 11 lead changes. Monica, the Knicks getting a huge lift in the scoring department from OG Anunoby with a team-high 19 points.
He spread those points out, too. He had 12 in the first quarter. He had 7 in the second quarter. And particularly, he had a big-time 3 with about a minute to go in the second quarter. Listen, overall, I think the Knicks have done a good job of showing some balance in the scoring column. OG Anunoby leads the way, but you've got 3 guys in double figures, including him, and you've gotten 11 points from your bench, a conversation that has been discussed a lot in New York in terms of getting productivity from that unit. So all in all, I think it was a solid half for the Knicks. Now, one thing that I do think people have to keep in mind watching this series, I honestly, Pat, I'm not sure how much distance is going to be created. But I do think that the Knicks helped themselves by not turning the basketball over, and they have managed to score 7 points in transition. But they're going to have to continue to limit the transition opportunities for the Pistons. And while you do want to slow Tobias Harris, if Tobias Harris goes off and you hold Cade Cunningham to less than 20 points, I'm actually okay with it. Now, be mindful, Cunningham does already have 6 assists. So the facilitating aspect of his game has been locked in. But if you can keep him out of the scoring column, it's a win in my book.
Knicks have led by as many as 7. The Pistons' largest lead has been 4, so it's been close throughout. When it's game time, it's Tully time. The start of the second half is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the all-new Tullamore Dew Honey during tonight's action. The Knicks with their starting 5 on the floor to begin the second half. Same for the Pistons. For the Knicks, that includes, of course, Josh Hart, who was scoreless in just 7 first-half minutes as he has 3 fouls and has been in foul trouble throughout the game. Knicks ball first. It's Brunson, who shot 4 for 15 from the field in the first half. Bridges in the front court, guarded tightly by Tim Hardaway Jr. Brunson pops out, left side, three-pointer. That's good, and a terrific start for Brunson and the Knicks in the third.
We talked about this a little bit in regards to Cade Cunningham when he had to take a break because of foul trouble, sometimes for guards, and we've seen this with Jalen Brunson. You play the game, you get a feel for it. But when you have a chance to get a sub or get some fresh legs, halftime break, you come back in renewed.
Hardaway Jr. baseline jumper, left side is good, rattles it home, and the Knicks lead is 3, 60-57. For Brunson, that was his second three-pointer of the game. He's got 14 points. Side-to-side dribble against Asar Thompson. Now Bridges leans in a little to Hardaway. Bounce pass up top, Anunoby guarded by Cunningham. Anunoby jab step, drives, spins, foul line jumper, rolls around and drops in, and Anunoby has 21.
Cheers to that from OG Anunoby. That's the second time tonight he's got that mean step back going.
62-57. Cunningham backs it out with the dribble near midcourt. Just over a minute gone by in the third. Bridges guarding Cunningham to begin the third quarter. Brings it left side, one dribble, three-pointer, air ball. Rebounded by Duren. Shot clock at 4. Hardaway Jr.'s three is good, deep, and it's 62-60.
So that three falls into the second chance points category. The Pistons do have 14 points off of second chance opportunities in this one.
Anunoby was left open, but he misfires on a three-pointer from the left corner in front of the Pistons bench. Here's Thompson one-on-one with Brunson. Drives, bounce pass inside for Duren, who can't finish, but he was fouled. Jalen Duren pushed from behind by Karl Anthony Towns.
Pistons looking to score in the paint. They've done a good job in this first few possessions of this second quarter of making their presence known in the paint, whether that's on the glass or looking to score. And obviously the big-time three from Hardaway Jr., but that is only a byproduct of their ability to rebound.
First free throw from Duren is no good off the back of the rim. He averaged a double-double during the regular season, 11.8 points and 10.3 rebounds. He was second in the NBA in field goal percentage at 69%, as the second free throw is good.
Repeat that last part.
69% from the field, second in the NBA during the regular season. Most of that done very close to the rim.
My brain stopped for a second. I was like, from the free throw line? That's terrible. But you said from the field.
From the field, yes. Here's Brunson, fires another three-pointer. That grazes the front of the rim. Rebound bounces into the hands of Harris. Knicks lead by 1, 62-61. Harris guarded tightly by Anunoby. He has a game-high 22 points. Now Towns meets him on a double team. Kicks it up top, Cunningham. Pump fake, drives the lane, blocked from behind by Hart. Out of bounds, 6 seconds to shoot.
Outstanding effort by Josh Hart. He was beat a little bit on the dribble penetration, but does a great job of recovering. Well, this is a clean block. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
You don't want Hart to lose his aggressiveness with those 3 fouls. Off the inbound, Hardaway Jr., and he's fouled on the pass-off. And this is against Karl Anthony Towns, so his second. 2 quick ones here in the third quarter. And it comes with 9:31 to play in the third. So the foul was on the pass-off. So the Pistons will inbound in the front court. Cunningham guarded by Bridges. Hardaway Jr. pops out, drives the lane. Counted, and the foul on the reach-in. And if this is against Towns, it's his third. It is.
It actually sounded like this was an all ball.
It looked like it was all ball in the moment as well. Hardaway Jr. did finish the layup, so the basket counts. And now he has a chance at a three-point play, and Tim Hardaway Jr. has gotten off quickly here to begin the third quarter. Free throw is good. Pistons lead 64-62.
These veterans who have postseason experience have been hugely important for the Pistons in this one.
They're the 3 players in double figures. Harris, Hardaway Jr., and Beasley off the bench. Here's Towns backing in against Harris. Towns had 10 points in the second quarter. Fallback, baseline jumper is good. That is a beautiful looking shot by Towns.
An excellent response, right? To stay mentally locked in. You just picked up 2 silly fouls, but you are able to stay focused and make the defense pay. Oh,
Thompson spins down the lane and finishes, showing off his athleticism. Asar Thompson gives the Pistons a 2-point lead.
And the entire Garden let out a on that one.
Here's Towns. Finds Hart in the corner. Mishandled, knocked out of bounds off of Detroit. 14 seconds to shoot. Knicks will throw it in from the baseline, trailing by 2. Brunson, bounce pass. Anunoby gets position and lays it in off the glass. He beat Cunningham to the spot.
I mean, Cade Cunningham is 6'6" himself, but even he can't really do much with OG Anunoby. What a well-executed inbound play.
Harris working against Bridges. Up top, Cunningham finds the open man inside. Thompson spins, blocked from behind by Bridges. It goes out of bounds. 10 seconds to shoot. 8:27 to go in the third. Knicks and Pistons tied at 66.
So far, Pat, I got to say, this series has been about what I've expected in terms of it being close and competitive and physical.
Duren working against Towns off the inbound. Shot clock down to 5. Duren spins, flips it up and in. Good-looking hook shot from Jalen Duren, his second field goal. Knicks down 2, Hart in the front court. Up top pass for Towns. Harris has been guarding Towns. Towns loses his footing, throws it over his head into the hands of Anunoby for 3. No good off the front of the rim, rebounded by Cunningham. Numbers for the Pistons, Cunningham right to the basket, lays it in around Towns, who did not want to pick up his 4th personal foul. Tom Thibodeau calls timeout with the Knicks trailing by 4.
Getting out in transition. Got to keep an eye on that fast break point number. It's now up to 12 for the Pistons. And that last bucket, Cade Cunningham is approaching double figures as well. He now has 8 points in this ballgame and has notched his average at 8 assists.
Get to your local Verizon store today to trade in any phone in any condition, guaranteed, and get a great deal on a new 5G phone with Unlimited Ultimate. Good start to the third quarter for the Pistons. They have taken a 70-66 lead over the Knicks with 7:53 to go in the third quarter. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York, and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off of your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FANSGET10 for the largest selection of international foods, an all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce, and $10 off of your first order of $50. Use promo code FANSGET10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
This is Jalen Brunson. I'll be driving to my games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me the all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing too. Just mention that I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory, great deals, and all new and used vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Jalen sent you.
Hey Knicks fans, now at Verizon, they're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's their best price ever on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. Guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, they got you. Visit your local Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Ready to level up your game time? Check out Chumba Casino. Non-stop fun and totally free to join. Enjoy online social casino games with new games added regularly. Play for your chance to win serious prizes and claim your daily login bonus. Whether you're at home or on the move, jump in and start playing today at ChumbaCasino.com. Available only to players in the U.S., excluding Washington, Michigan, Montana, Connecticut, Delaware, Nevada, and Canada, excluding Quebec. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Back here at the Garden, New York's own Walt Clyde Frazier on Garden Vision right now here in the third quarter as the Knicks trail the Pistons 70-66. Clyde working the MSG television broadcast with our guy Tyler Murray this evening. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you. Third quarter, Knicks trailing the Pistons by 4 points. Pistons have come out of the locker room, Monica, outscored the Knicks 15-9. And you've pointed this out a couple of times. It is the Pistons with playoff experience. Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Malik Beasley, who had 12 points in the first half, leading the way to their 4-point lead.
So, how are they going about doing that? Well, Tim Hardaway is doing the same thing he did when he was a New York Knicks. He's managed to find his way from behind the three-point line. He's knocked down 2 threes tonight. He's got 2 rebounds to go along with that. And then Harris has really kind of hit you in every department possible, as well as hitting 4 free throws in this one. Beasley, you know he's been a sharpshooter all season long. He's knocked down 4 threes. And so Hardaway and Beasley in particular are challenging the Knicks in terms of an area that they've struggled this season, and that is three-point defense.
Out of the timeout, Bridges has it in the front court. Shot clock is down to 8. Bridges turns the corner, blocked from behind by Duren. It goes out of bounds off of the Knicks. Last touch by Josh Hart. This equals the largest lead of the night for the Pistons. Cunningham hands the ball off to Asar Thompson. High post, Duren turns and faces the basket. Brunson pokes at the ball. Duren hands to Cunningham. Anunoby tries to chase him around the screen. Lob pass for Duren. slams it down. The Pistons have their largest lead of the night of 6.
Cade Cunningham gets 2 screens in short succession there to get open, and ultimately assist number 9 to Jalen Duren for a high percentage opportunity in the paint. Pistons are on a 6-0 run.
On the other side, Asar Thompson reaches in and gets called for a foul against Jalen Brunson. Used his leg to try to impede Brunson's progress, so it's on the floor. Knicks inbound in the front court. Asar Thompson's 3rd foul.
He is not a rookie anymore, but my first thought is poor Rook.
Here's Brunson, hesitation dribble. Working against Thompson, fallback jumper rattles it home, and Brunson sensed that Thompson played a little differently with those 3 fouls. And we've got a whistle in the front court. This is against Jalen Brunson, shoving Tim Hardaway Jr. to the floor.
So Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming to set a back screen on OG Anunoby, who's guarding Cade Cunningham, and Brunson is trying to blow it up, and it's just a little too physical on that.
72-68, Knicks down 4. Duren working from the high post, hands to Cunningham, cut off by Towns. Finds Thompson underneath, power dribble, throws it up, blocked by Towns, and taken off the backboard by Towns. Outlet pass to Brunson. He has Hart on his right-hand side. Hart, 1 dribble to the basket, flips it up and in, off the glass. Josh Hart's first 2 points of the night. Knicks back within 2.
Back-to-back baskets for the Knicks, finding a little bit of rhythm here, and it is courtesy of the defensive intensity on the other side of the floor. They don't give up a 3 there. They come up with the block.
7th block shot for the Knicks. 2nd for Cat. Harris one-on-one with Bridges. Shot clock at 5. Harris from the left block, backing his way in. Shot clock at 2. Fallback jumper, air ball. Rebound taken by Hart, looks to push. Knicks can tie or take the lead with a 3. Hart, Euro step, finds the cutting Towns to the basket, lays it up and in. We are all tied at 72. 5:49 to go in the 3rd. Timeout, Detroit.
An efficient night so far for Karl Anthony Towns, going 6 of 8 from the field, but it's Josh Hart's energy. He's got a heart in his braids, Cat, the heart of the city, as he is affectionately called. Not wowing you in the scoring column tonight, but he does have 4 rebounds, 3 assists as he navigates those 3 personal fouls as well. And the Knicks are on a 6-0 run, followed by a 6-0 run by Detroit. This thing is going back and forth, baby. Buckle up.
That's the answer these fans were looking for here inside the Garden. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, official beer sponsor of the New York Knicks. Superior light beer. Buckle up indeed. 5:49 to go in the 3rd. Knicks, Pistons, all tied at 72. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Feel the excitement of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. Europe's best clubs.
What a start for Inter! And Barca are level! Brilliant Arsenal goal!
The world's brightest stars.
Mbappe! Kane! Rafinha!
All chasing club soccer's ultimate prize.
A new page in their glorious history!
The Champions League knockout stage, where legends are made. On Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app.
The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do we like it to the most?
SiriusXM NFL Radio gets you ready for the NFL Draft on Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The first place to talk hoops every weekday morning is the starting lineup with Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine.
Overrated? Do you watch the guy play? He's unstoppable.
They're breaking down all the latest from the association.
I think he's a baller, and I think people would give up assets to get a guy like that.
Along with some laughs.
Kevin Durant, you need to get married and be miserable like the rest of us. Reprimanding the fans for booing. It's like, come on, man.
The starting lineup, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 Eastern. Only on SiriusXM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the SiriusXM app.
I'm Mike Farron. If you're like me, you love baseball. You love talking baseball with your friends, and your partner on the radio is the former general manager of the Mets.
This is Jim Duquette. Join me and Mike weekdays at 10 Eastern for Power Alley on MLB Network Radio.
It's baseball, baseball, and more baseball. 100% in-depth baseball talk.
We spent an entire week once on pulled pork recipes.
It's 95% in-depth baseball talk on Power Alley. Weekdays, 10 Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89.
Back here at the Garden, let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
For the best basketball talk every afternoon, don't miss NBA Today with Justin Termini and Eddie Johnson from 4 to 7 Eastern on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the Sirius XM app.
Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you from the world's most famous arena. Executive producer Ray Santiago, engineer Gary Jeffries, and statistician Doug Mittler. Game 1, Knicks Pistons. Been a good one. 72-all, 5:49 to go in the third quarter. But the Knicks on a 6-0 run, leading to that J.B. Bickerstaff timeout.
Yeah, going to the break, it was the 6-0 run by Detroit. Then it was a 6-0 run by the Knicks. This thing has just been seesawing up and down. It's been great. And look, J.B. Bickerstaff has had a terrific year. He should be a Coach of the Year. Certainly not candidate if he doesn't win the award. Look, it's been great for the Pistons. And so far, I must say, they do not look like they have shrunk from the moment as a collective. Those veterans have really stemmed the tide, and Cade Cunningham has started to get going as well.
Right on cue. Hits a tough floater in the lane and draws the foul. Foul against OG Anunoby. Cunningham stops the 6-0 run, puts the Pistons back on top, and now a chance at a three-point play. So OG Anunoby picks up his second. Isaiah Stewart back in for Jalen Duren. Malik Beasley and Dennis Schroeder have also come on off the Detroit bench. Knicks still with their starting 5 on the floor. Cunningham's free throw is good. It's his first free throw attempt of the night. 75-72, Knicks down 3. Here's Brunson, left-handed dribble across the timeline. Switches to the left side, picked up by Hardaway. Into the left corner, Towns fakes the 3, drives on Stewart. Backing his way in on the left block. And there's a whistle and a foul against Isaiah Stewart.
You know, I just want the ball to keep going to Karl-Anthony Towns in an empty corner, on an open wing, clear out. I want this over and over and over again until the Pistons can come up with a way to stop it.
Shot clock resets to 14. Brunson gets it back quickly off the inbound. Going to work on Beasley. Step back, 15-foot jumper is good. Brunson starting to get going here in the third. He's got 18 points. Knicks down 1.
I mean, I'll also take that, too, multiple times.
Here is Schroeder, picks up his dribble in the front court right side. Bottled up by Hart, lob pass, a dangerous one. It's taken by Cunningham. Anunoby chases Cunningham around a screen. Pass picked off, but a kick ball violation against the Knicks. So a new 14-second shot clock for Detroit in the front court.
So we've seen it a couple times in this third quarter where there's multiple screens for Cade Cunningham to come off of. And the last screen is usually the matchup that he wants.
Off the inbounds, Tim Hardaway Jr. wide open for 3. Knocks it down from the right wing. Pistons back up by 4. Anunoby fell down before the ball got to Hardaway. And the Knicks stopped, it seemed, momentarily, allowing Hardaway to get so wide open.
Meanwhile, Detroit is shooting 52% from the three-point line.
11 for 21 from deep. Towns from the high post against Stewart. They clear out for him. Jab step, puts it on the floor, floats it up. Off balance. Shot is good for Towns.
There's so many ways that he can score, and the Pistons just don't have an answer. Oh, my God.
Cunningham weaving in and out of the Knicks defense. Finishes with a two-handed slam. He's getting going as well. Detroit leads 80-76.
The lane was so wide open. How did that happen?
Less than 4 minutes to play here in the third. Now it's Brunson's turn, and a reach from behind pokes the ball out of bounds. Knicks ball, 10 seconds to shoot. So Mitchell Robinson checks back in. Towns to the bench. Towns was scoreless in the first quarter. He's got 16 points since.
Scoreless no more, partner.
Robinson, 6 points, 5 rebounds in 14 first-half minutes. Inbound to Anunoby. Right corner, one-on-one with Cunningham. Bottled up underneath the basket. Shot comes up short, knocked out of bounds off of the Knicks.
I don't think Anunoby needed to force that issue. Fortunate that this is still going to be Knicks ball.
Pistons ball.
Oh, excuse me, I apologize.
Schroeder across the timeline. Guarded loosely by Bridges. High post, Cunningham loses the defender. Floater, back rim, no. Good box out and rebound by Robinson. Into the hands of Hart, who looks to push. Bridges on the right wing. Bridges, 6 points so far. Turns the corner, floats it up, off balance, too strong. Rebounded by Stewart. Outlet to Hardaway. One dribble to the basket, slams it home with 2 hands. He takes a hard fall. And the whistle blows by Bill Kennedy, saying that the ball went in and then came back out of the cylinder, so the basket counts. Meanwhile, Tim Hardaway Jr. is just getting to his feet now. What the whistle...
The ball never made it through the net. It's offensive basket interference.
Oh, excuse me. The basket does not count.
What? I need a replay. Did Josh Hart get to it to get a block?
We haven't seen a replay. J.B. Bickerstaff is vehemently arguing the call. It's a huge break for the Knicks. Now we're looking at a replay. The ball never cleared through the net. Wow, I don't know that I've ever seen that before. So a good call by Bill Kennedy.
I think Bickerstaff wants to say it didn't come through the net because of Hart's disruption.
Good hustle by Hart to get back and cause that disruption. So the Knicks down by 4. McBride left baseline, goes up and is blocked by Stewart. Rebound taken by Beasley. 2:45 to go in the third. 80-76 Pistons. Cunningham blocked by Robinson. Cunningham gets it back. Now it's taken by Bridges. Knicks locking down defensively. Brunson coast to coast, flips it up. No, but there's Robinson. Slams it in. There's a whistle on the play as well. They haven't indicated whether or not the basket counts.
Jalen Brunson, most importantly, has not gotten up.
The basket does not count. There's a blocking foul on the Brunson shot attempt against Dennis Schroeder before Robinson had a chance to slam it back in. So it's a shooting foul against Schroeder, sending Brunson to the line for 2.
I think when he landed, Jalen Brunson startled himself. There does not appear to be any sort of ankle roll, and he is up taking these free throws. He was able to walk whatever it was off, but for a second, as he was on the ground, pregnant pauses for sure.
Brunson with 18 points. First free throw is good.
The Knicks are now 9 of 9 from the free throw line, which is terrific tonight. I'd like to see them get there a little bit more.
Tim Hardaway Jr. checks right back into the game, replacing Cade Cunningham. So the Knicks right now with Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, McBride, and Robinson on the floor. Second free throw upcoming for Jalen Brunson, and that is good. Knicks down 2 with 2.5 to play in the third. Schroeder handling the ball for Detroit. Hardaway Jr., one dribble, right side pass Beasley, who's guarded by Robinson, shoots a 3, over Robinson, high arcer, no, rebounded by Bridges. Knicks can tie again or take the lead again. Brunson, jab step against Schroeder. From the left side, backing him down with the right-handed dribble. Shot clock at 10. Turns, fakes, blocked by Schroeder, picked up by Beasley. Drives right at Bridges, lays it up and in.
It's a little too disjointed for the Knicks offensively. Jalen Brunson is one of the best isolation players in the league, but that is just too easy.
Now he goes to work again, gets around Schroeder, bounce pass right wing, Anunoby diagonal drive, flips it up, and it was blocked by Stewart. Fight for the ball, picked up by Schroeder. Here come the Pistons. Beasley wide open, left corner, three-pointer is good. With 1:34 to go in the third quarter, Pistons have their largest lead of the night, 85-78 as the Knicks call timeout.
And it has been a byproduct of the Pistons being able to find their way in the fast break category. Just like that, on the night, they're up to 17 total fast break points, which is 7 in this third quarter because they only had 10 at halftime. Those last two possessions represent that. The Knicks can ill afford to have turnovers that fuel one of the strengths of this Pistons squad all season long. They were second in the league in fast break points average this season.
This out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Best Trails and Travel. The NBA playoffs officially begin today. In the first game, the Pacers at home beat the Bucks 117-98. So Indy leads that series 1-0. Pascal Siakam, 25 points. In loss, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 36 points and 12 rebounds. One of the most highly anticipated series didn't disappoint in game one. Denver wins at home in overtime over the Clippers, 112-110. Russell Westbrook hit a big three-pointer against his former team. He had 15 points. Nikola Jokic had 29 points and 12 assists. One more game coming up later tonight in Los Angeles. The Lakers hosting the Timberwolves in game number 1. That's the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Visit them today for the ultimate travel experience at besttrailstravel.com.
Terrific game. Well, one of the two previous games were terrific. That Clippers and Nuggets series is going to be an absolute slugfest. Not sure what happened in that first one. I was honestly disappointed in the way that Milwaukee showed, and I know they're waiting on the return of Damian Lillard, which is great news because blood clots can be very serious things. But they just looked, I don't know, disinterested, taking the game for granted.
Pacers jumped on them early and never let up. Meanwhile, it's an offensive foul against the Knicks. Out of the timeout, away from the ball against Deuce McBride. Barreling in to Malik Beasley away from the ball.
This is where you have to be smart, right? You can't let the physicality get the best of you.
85-78 Pistons. Schroeder, right elbow pull-up jumper is good. Knicks trail by 9. Just over a minute to go in the third.
The offense for the Pistons has hit another level. They're on a 6-0 run. They were shooting 47% at halftime, but now they're shooting 52% on the game.
Brunson working hard, stops his dribble at the foul line. Brunson falls to the floor. He's down. Three-pointer for Josh Hart is good. Jalen Brunson is back on his feet, jogging gingerly back on defense. The Hart three makes it a 6-point game as we keep one eye on Jalen Brunson, who contests a three by Schroeder, and he knocks it down. It's 90-81 with 41 seconds to go in the third.
I'm surprised there has not been a whistle. Well, given the time in the third quarter, that's going to be your timeout.
Isaiah Stewart runs at Jalen Brunson and bumps him on the perimeter, picking up his 4th personal foul. It's the first in the last 2 minutes for the Pistons, so the Knicks will inbound on the floor. 33.8 seconds to go in the third. The Knicks trail by 9. Pistons have scored 35 points this quarter.
And even though threes are not something that you think of as a team, they're shooting 54% from 3. And they've got 3 guys that have hit at least 3.
Robinson from the high post hands it back to Bridges. Right wing Hart. Shot clock at 10. Hart down the lane, knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Stays with the Knicks, 8 to shoot. Brunson walks over to receive the ball, to inbound it. Finds Robinson, gets it back quickly. Brunson from the left side, crossover dribble around Schroeder, pull up, blocked and fouled by Schroeder with 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Brunson will go back to the line where he's 4 for 4 tonight.
I do not like, though, Pat, that the Knicks have shot less free throws than the Detroit Pistons in this ballgame. Now, it's only by a pair, but for me, fast-breaking free throws are going to matter in the story of this game 1.
Pistons an advantage in fast break points, 17-13. As Brunson sitting on 20 points. First free throw is good.
The Knicks turnovers in this one, the 8 turnovers in this ball game have led to 12 points off of said turnovers. And you mentioned the 17 fast break points. Well, I'm likely going to lump that dozen into that 17 off of those turnovers.
One free throw coming for Brunson. 20.5 seconds to go in the quarter. Shot clock is off. Cade Cunningham back in for offense. OG Anunoby back in for defense. One more free throw coming for Brunson. He's played 31 minutes so far. Hits that. Brunson's got 22. Knicks trail by 7. Shot clock off. Cunningham walks it across the timeline. Anunoby 3 steps off of him. Cunningham side-to-side dribble on the Knicks logo. Down to 7 seconds. Makes his move. Right side pass. Hardaway drives the lane, flips it up. No good. But a foul, sending Tim Hardaway Jr. to the line with 1.9 seconds to go.
Small detail, though, but you look at this feisty, young, energetic Pistons squad. Tim Hardaway hits the ground, and you can hear them on the mics on the rims. We got you, don't get up. They go and get their teammate. The Knicks are going to have to find some connectivity if they're going to close this 7-point margin and take a lead by the end of the fourth quarter.
It remains 7 as Hardaway misses the first free throw. 1.9 seconds on the clock. Karl Anthony Towns checks back in for Robinson. So the Knicks have their starting 5 on the floor. Four of the 5 Knicks starters currently have 3 fouls. Brunson has 2. Here's Hardaway, the former Knicks. Second free throw, in and out and back in again, giving Detroit an 8-point lead. Knicks have to be smart here. Hart rechecks the ball with the official. He can run the baseline. He's going to look to make a baseball pass. Half court, Anunoby, one dribble, fires it up. No good off the mark, and the third quarter comes to an end. A big third quarter for the Pistons as they outscore the Knicks 36-26, and they take an 8-point lead into the fourth.
We've talked so much in this ballgame about Cade Cunningham. Well, he now has 13 points and 10 assists. So that means in this third quarter he had 7 and 4. But you continue to look at those veterans, Pat, who have all hit at least 3 threes in this one. Beasley's hit 5, Hardaway's hit 3, Harris has hit 4. They have been an absolute thorn in the side of the Knicks, who are allowing the Pistons as a collective to shoot 54% from 3 and 53% overall from the field.
For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson scored 11 of their 26 points in that third quarter. Fourth quarter coming up in the Garden. The Pistons leading the Knicks 91-83. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues.
Hey sports fans, it's TSI Mike, and we're uniting fans worldwide with the NHL and NBA playoff action while supporting SickKids Hospital right here in Toronto. Click the live viewers link at torontosportsinsider.com and see where everyone is watching from.
Where in the world are you watching from? Now's the time to show for you to let us know where you're watching from in that chat or by visiting our new live viewers website. Holy Mackinac! As we are passing 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider, the playoff pulse is a global force. Visit torontosportsinsider.com to see our live viewer map and where fans are cheering from right across the globe. While you're there, check out our awesome new website and fresh merch options. Let's keep growing this global community.
Park. Injuries can happen at any time and can often require immediate attention.
Total Ortho Express provides immediate walk-in orthopedic care from highly awarded specialists and surgeons, instead of waiting in an emergency room or a general urgent care. Total Ortho Express is open 7 days a week with extended hours, so that our patients have convenient and immediate access to the care they need. Learn more at TotalOrthoExpress.com.
Sports fans, take your game day snacks to a whole new level. Cibao Meat Products Jamoneta Campesino Salami, the MVP of flavor. Whether you're cheering for touchdowns or slam dunks, this Hispanic-style salami is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Made with the finest ingredients and packed with zesty spices, Jamoneta Campesino Salami delivers a burst of savory goodness in every bite. Score big with Cibao Meat Jamoneta Campesino Salami. Available at your local supermarket. Remember, if you see our logo from the start, put it in your shopping cart. Cibao Meat Products, over half a century of tradition and quality.
Start of the fourth quarter from Madison Square Garden. Knicks have some work to do as they face an 8-point deficit against the Detroit Pistons here in game number 1. 91-83 is the score. Pistons outscoring the Knicks by 10 in the third quarter. And they will begin the fourth quarter with the basketball, Monica. What are you looking for over these final 12 minutes from the Knickerbockers?
Well, first you got to turn up your defense. It's the playoffs. It's game 1. To allow a team to shoot 50%, better than 50% from the field and three, 53 and 54 respectively, just won't get it done. Beyond that, there's an energy and a connectivity that's missing from the Knicks on offense. They're not really making this Pistons defense work. They seem to be settling for isolation shots in my mind. When they were moving and cutting, they had much better flow to their offense earlier in the ballgame.
Well, how about that? Cameron Payne face guarding his man, forcing the Pistons into a 5-second violation to begin the fourth quarter. So the Knicks get it back right away, and they inbound to Anunoby on the left side. There's some defensive intensity there. Payne in for Brunson. Towns floater, left baseline is good, and the Knicks are back within 6.
Karl-Anthony Towns could single-handedly close this gap.
He's got 16. He's 7 for 9 from the field. Schroeder hands the ball to Cunningham, who's being guarded by Anunoby. Cunningham, center of the court. Crossover dribble met by Towns on a double. High post Duren. One dribble, dotted circle, pass underneath Thompson. Shot clock expires. Thompson didn't recognize it. Back-to-back turnovers forced by the Knicks in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
So that is an example of the sort of intensity on the defensive end that you're going to need if you're going to pull this thing out.
Knicks took advantage after the first turnover. Harden bounce to McBride. He's met at midcourt, keeps his dribble. McBride a little out of control. Now he settles on the right wing. High post Towns fires a three, knocks it down. 5 quick points for Cat, and the Knicks are back within 3. Schroeder guarded by McBride on the right wing. Drives right baseline, fallback jumper, that is in and out. Offensive rebound pulled by Duren. He's bottled up by Hart, dribbles out of trouble. Hands the ball to Cunningham in the left corner. Cunningham is stuck there, passes out of it, lob pass inside. Thompson finishes and is fouled, cutting to the basket. Chance at a 3-point play for Asar Thompson off the foul by Deuce McBride.
This is really good ball movement by the Pistons. The ball just moves faster than the bodies can on defense, even though Deuce McBride got to the right position as far as help. We talked about the athleticism and bounciness of Asar already in the air before Deuce McBride could get over there.
Thompson 64% from the line this year, but he hits this one. Pistons lead 94-88, just over a minute gone by here in the fourth, and there's a whistle in the backcourt and a foul against Asar Thompson as Deuce McBride hits the deck. That is Thompson's 4th.
This one happens under our noses, so to speak. Can't really see exactly what happens, but you're right. 4 on Thompson.
Pistons picking up their defensive pressure. Payne in the front court, around a Town screen, loses his footing, loses the ball. Beasley ahead to Thompson. He misses the dunk. Anunoby back taps it to McBride. In the front court, Hart, he loses the handle and it's picked up by Duren. Outlet pass, Thompson, he'll try it again, slipping through traffic. This time he finishes, and the Knicks back down by 8.
What is happening? Nobody wants to hold on to the basketball?
Wild sequence there. Knicks really could have taken advantage. Payne turns the corner, flips it up and in, off the glass. Cameron Payne, he's got 5, and the Knicks trail by 6.
Knicks got to get back defensively.
Payne runs out at Cunningham, reaches in and fouls him. That's the second team foul of the quarter against the Knicks.
I understand this energy by Cameron Payne, trying to come up with a steal potentially. I think you just got to play sound coming off this hedge or this switch even, because Cade Cunningham is a terrific ball handler.
He's got the ball in his hands right now. Cunningham a double-double, 13 points and 11 assists in his first NBA playoff game. Anunoby guarding him. High post to Stewart. Knocked away from behind. Shot clock at 1. Beasley has to fire. It goes in and out. Hart grabs the rebound. Outlet to Anunoby. McBride spotting up. Left corner 3. Air ball. Rebounded by Thompson. Outlet pass to Schroeder.
McBride is off tonight. He usually gives you one of the two of those, if not more.
Now Schroeder driving around Towns right to the basket. Easily lays it in. Pistons lead is back up to 8, 98-90.
Again, foul trouble rearing its head. Towns is not as aggressive defending that possession because he has 3 fouls.
Cameron Payne crossover, dribble, finishes with the right hand, plus the foul. Cameron Payne, much needed energy off the bench in the fourth.
Not sure if Cameron Payne is talking directly to Dennis Schroeder or trying to energize his teammates, but it's good to see somebody in a white uniform with some fight.
So Payne with 7 points off the bench. That foul was against Isaiah Stewart, his 5th. 9:06 to go. Knicks down by 6. And Jalen Brunson is checking back into the game. He'll replace Deuce McBride.
So the only Knicks that have scored in this fourth quarter, Pat, are Cameron Payne, who has 4 points, and Karl-Anthony Towns, who has 5. Which, to me, I'm okay with, because both of them have been able to find high percentage opportunities. But it is still imperative that this defense wake up.
Payne hits the free throw, 98-93 Pistons. 9 minutes to go in the fourth. Cunningham, guarded by Anunoby, now picked up on a switch by Brunson. From the right side, he's doubled. Anunoby knocks it out of his hands. It's out of bounds. Off of the Knicks with 9 to shoot.
If I'm the Knicks, I'm having a conversation with one of the officials about Dennis Schroeder kind of locking OG Anunoby in on that switch.
Cunningham inbounds deep in the corner. Beasley left open, grazes the front of the rim, knocked out of bounds off of Thompson. Knicks dodged the bullet there. Beasley is 5 for 10 from downtown and had a really good look that time.
Gotta have a quality possession offensively here.
Tobias Harris back in. All 22 of his points tonight in the first half. Knicks with the ball down 5. Hart up top for Brunson, between the circles, directing traffic, holds the ball at his hip. Falls for an Anunoby screen. Brunson brings it right side with the right-handed dribble. Splits 2 defenders, floats it up and in. 8.5 to go. Knicks back within 3. It's Brunson time at the Garden.
Jalen Brunson changed his shoes. Seems like he's got his balance back.
8:20 to go. Schroeder, floater, right side, front rim, no. Knocked out of bounds, off of Brunson.
He's going that way. He's going that way. He's going that way.
Josh Hart pointing out that 2 different officials were pointing in 2 different directions. The final verdict, though, is Pistons basketball. Schroeder inbounds it to Duren. 10 seconds to shoot. Duren hands to Schroeder, fakes the 3, couple dribbles, foul line jumper, front rim no. Another offensive rebound for Duren, out to Beasley, 3-pointer, in and out. Cat the rebound, outlet to Hart. 7:57 left. Towns a deep 3, just off the front of the rim. Hart offensive rebound to Payne, 3-pointer, knocks it down. We are all tied at 98 on the Cameron Payne 3. Timeout Pistons.
Cameron Payne has only played 9 minutes in this ball game, but his 11 points might be some of the biggest yet, because 8 of them have come in this fourth quarter. and they have been huge as the ball game is now tied.
Knicks having trailed in this second half by as many as 9 points. A big three-pointer by Cameron Payne, his second of the night, pulls them even at 98 apiece. Pistons call timeout, 7:47 to go in the fourth quarter here at Madison Square Garden. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Los Angeles Lakers Governor Jeannie Buss sat down for a 3-hour discussion with Rob Perez and Antonio Daniels on SiriusXM NBA Radio.
I've never articulated this before. This is something you have to see in person. Luka does these things that you're like, where did that come from? Where did he come up with that? Teaming him with LeBron, and it's so exciting to watch.
Hear the full interview with Jeannie Buss whenever you want with the SiriusXM app. Just search NBA Radio.
The best place to get your basketball fix every weekday is Give and Go with Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez, and former NBA champion Antonio Daniels on NBA Radio.
If you got Steph, you got a chance.
Evan Mobley, his unicorn status is about to be unlocked.
They'll cover every story and talk to great guests across the association every afternoon.
NBA Hall of Famer Mike Breen.
Anything shy of certainly the finals would be a disappointment for the Celtics.
It's Give and Go, weekdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern, only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on SiriusXM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on SiriusXM or streaming anytime on the SiriusXM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Hello, Angel fans. My name is John, and that's my brother Mike.
And my name is Mike, and that's my brother John.
Together, we are the Super Halo Bros and the hosts of your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast, Locked On Angels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Angels brings you the latest Angel news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Angels is everything an Angel fan could want, all in a daily 30-minute podcast.
Download Locked On Angels right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Angels.
Back at the Garden, out of the Pistons timeout with 7:47 to go in the fourth quarter. The Knicks have come back to tie the score here in Game 1 at 98 apiece. We spoke about the impact offensively from Cameron Payne, but the Knicks defense, Monica, the energy and intensity has been ratcheted up here in the fourth.
Yeah, the way that they finished going into that timeout, they were on an 8-0 run. The scoring's great, the 8, you needed that, but the 0 is the important part. Forcing multiple turnovers over that stretch, shot clock violations, and coming up with loose balls. Listen, this team had a bit of an up and down year if you were just looking at its defensive numbers. But over the stretch of March, they found their way a bit. Now, there's no coincidence that some of that was without Jalen Brunson on the floor, and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby found a new rhythm offensively, and so their defense was then energized. The point is, there is an ability to defend at a high level in this team, and they need to find it for the next 7 minutes and 40 seconds unless they want to go down 0-1 and give up home court advantage in this series.
Chance of defense out of the timeout at the world's most famous arena. Hardaway Jr., one dribble, pull-up jumper, no. Duren, another offensive rebound. They work it around. Hardaway open three, no good. Anunoby rips the rebound away from Duren. Outlet to Brunson. Knicks have the ball and can take the lead back. In and out dribble around Harris. Flips it up. Count it! And the foul! Knicks on top. Chance at a three-point play.
This place is probably the loudest it's been all night as the Knicks take a lead on a 10-0 run. Jalen Brunson, 26 points. He's been perfect from the free throw line as he has a chance to complete this three-point play.
Chance of MVP at the Garden for Jalen Brunson. Free throws no good. A line drive off the front of the rim. So the Knicks lead is 100-98. Plenty of time to go. Cunningham, top of the arc, brings it left side, now down the middle. This little scoop pass inside. Shot there, no good by Duren. Rebounded by Towns. Pistons have gone cold. Brunson working from the left wing. He wants to clear out. He wants to go to work on Tobias Harris. Between the legs, spins away from Harris towards the baseline. Back up top for Payne. Shot clock at 7. Payne fires at 3. He hits another one! And the Knicks lead by 5 as Payne skips back down on defense.
We were watching some clips from Content Day, and Cameron Payne saying is don't wake up, keep dreaming. He's living the dream right now. Big-time baskets in a playoff game.
Cunningham backs in against Anunoby, bobbled up. The Knicks can't save it. Josh Hart, an all-out dive into the front row. It'll stay with the Pistons. 7 seconds to shoot.
Cameron Payne has 11 points in this quarter, Pat, and they've all been so huge. It has been his energy, not just the scoring, but it has been his energy that has unified this Knicks squad, because in that third quarter, they were flopping around looking a little bit frayed. We got some spillage down courtside.
We do in Celebrity Row.
But do you hear this crowd?
They're growing louder during the delay as more members of the staff here at the Garden try to attend to the spillage on the court. It's on the left wing, right in front of Celebrity Row. You know, Monica, think back to last year, Game 1 of the Knicks 76ers series. In that game, Deuce McBride off the bench scored 21 points and was 5 for 7 from 3. Jalen Brunson actually said after the game, the reason the Knicks won was Deuce McBride. They're getting a similar type performance tonight off the bench from Cameron Payne.
We talked about a little bit pregame how imperative it is for role players to stay ready, because you don't know how much runway you're going to have or time you'll have to warm up. 14 points per night for Cameron Payne.
They throw the inbound away. Towns steals it. Outlet to Hart. Brunson finishes with the right hand. Knicks lead 105-98. Timeout Detroit.
A 15-0 run for the Knicks. They've done a great job of capitalizing on turnovers. 21 points off of the 16 turnovers that they've caused these Detroit Pistons. In the last 2 minutes, partner, the experience and the poise has shown up, which is one of the biggest differentiating factors between these two teams.
It was 98-90 Pistons. The Knicks have scored the last 15 points. They lead 105-98 with 6:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Timeout Pistons, New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York, and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, imported by William Grant & Sons Inc., New York, New York.
Sports fans, take your game day snacks to a whole new level. Cibao Meat Products Jamoneta Campesino Salami, the MVP of flavor. Whether you're cheering for touchdowns or slam dunks, this Hispanic-style salami is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Made with the finest ingredients and packed with zesty spices, Jamoneta Campesino Salami delivers a burst of savory goodness in every bite. Score big with Cibao Meat Jamoneta Campesino Salami. Available at your local supermarket. Remember, if you see our logo from the start, put it in your shopping cart. Cibao Meat Products, over half a century of tradition and quality.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Hey, basketball fans, ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Gambling problem? In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Back here at the Garden with 6:15 to go in the fourth quarter of Game 1. The Pistons took a 98-90 lead with 9:16 to go in the fourth on a Dennis Schroeder bucket, Monica. Since then, the Knicks have scored the last 15 points over the last 3 minutes. They lead 105-98. A lot of time to go, but this game has completely flipped in those 3 minutes.
You look at how they've been able to score, though, right? Jalen Brunson activates. He's up to 28 points tonight. Cameron Payne has had a huge fourth quarter. He's hit a couple of threes as well. And you look at Karl Anthony Towns, 21 points but 9 rebounds. I would say the 3 steals for him have been huge. That last basket by Jalen Brunson was off of the Karl Anthony Towns steal.
Stealing away the inbounds. 15-0 run. Brunson, Payne, Hart, Anunoby, and Towns remain on the floor for the Knicks. Cunningham picks up the ball right at midcourt. He's met by Anunoby. They go to Harris on the left wing, guarded tightly by Hart. Harris tries to drive on Hart, who's staying right with him. Pokes the ball away out of bounds in the corner. Pistons ball, 12 seconds to shoot.
Incredible effort by Josh Hart, really bothering Harris, who's had a terrific game tonight, has 22, not picking up a foul, remaining sound defensively.
Pistons are 3 for 14 from the field this quarter. Inbound, they hand it to Cunningham. His pass deflected by Towns and stolen. He's got Brunson. Hart finds him. One dribble, 17 straight for the Knicks, and they lead by 9.
Unclear if you're going to get a Jalen Brunson dunk on that one, but I'll take a 4-steal performance and counting, quite frankly, from Karl Anthony Towns, who's been terrific using his length to be disruptive in passing lanes.
Hardaway Jr., a deep 3 right side, front rim, no. Towns rips the rebound, outlet to Brunson. A double-double for Karl Anthony Towns, 21 points, 10 rebounds. Brunson, right corner, against Cunningham with 5:25 to go. He backs it out, goes to work on him again, flips it up, and he's blocked by Duren, saved by Anunoby. Still 6 seconds to shoot. Hart working from the top, reverse layup is good. 19 straight points for the Knicks. They lead by 11.
What a swing. I mean, you talk about being down 8 to now up.
Harris drives, flips it up, no good. Another rebound for Towns. Knicks want to push. Brunson, center of the court. Bounce pass, Hart lays it up and in. A 21-0 run for the Knicks, and they lead by 13.
We are on Josh Hart double-double watch. It's going to be close. Triple-double watch. It's going to be close for him to get it. He's got 9, 6, and 6.
Beasley fires a 3 and knocks it down straight on, ending the run. And the Knicks lead now is 10, 111-101 with 4.5 to play.
So Malik Beasley is talking to his squad in the same way that Cameron Payne was talking to the Knicks, trying to energize the guys, understanding that the game is a series of runs.
The Knicks just went on a massive one. Brunson just inside the midcourt line, brings it left side with the left-handed dribble. Shot clock at 6. One-on-one with Harris. There's a whistle away from the ball. Defensive 3 seconds for the third time tonight. All of them against Durham.
The third time? Whoa.
And that was with the shot clock winding down. So Brunson this time will take the attempt. And he knocks it down. 31 points for Jalen Brunson. And now the Knicks will inbound with a fresh 14-second shot clock.
Brunson had 22 at the end of the third quarter. We credit this Knicks defense for picking it up in the fourth.
Brunson inbounds to Payne, who gives it right back to Brunson. We don't see Brunson and Payne play together this long that often. Slip pass, Towns underneath feed for Hart. Cutting to the basket, he finishes.
Man, what great passing.
114-101. Cunningham down the lane. Met and fouled by Cameron Payne going to the basket with 3:45 to go, and the Knicks up 13.
This line for Karl-Anthony Towns is really going to stand out. But before I get into that, you've got to look at what Josh Hart has been able to do. 6 of 7 in terms of the last few points. He scored 6 points out of the last 7. And again, the Knicks got back to the movement. I thought in the third quarter it was entirely too stagnant for all involved. But in the fourth, they got back to the movement. They got back to their defensive intensity and just really were capitalizing on the poor decisions and the turnovers by the Pistons.
Cunningham's first free throw is good, as is the second. 114-103 Knicks, 3:45 to go. Here in game 1. Brunson against Schroeder, left-handed dribble towards the center of the court. Towns sets a screen. Schroeder runs through it. Shot clock down to 8. Brunson near the foul line, turns, fall back jumper, no good. Rebounded by Harris. Harris behind the back dribble into the front court, stops at the foul line. Lob pass underneath over the hands of Cunningham, stolen away by Payne. Some frustration now on the part of the Pistons. Coming up on 3 minutes to play. Knicks by 11. Payne running some clock. Towns in the high post. He's guarded by Thompson. Drives right around him, right to the basket. Lays it in off the glass.
What a big game for Karl-Anthony Towns.
32 postseason games as a Timberwolf. This is first at the Garden. Poked away by Payne. Stolen by the Knicks. Payne, left side, lines it up, no good. Rebound back tapped into the hands of Beasley, who sprints into the front court. Harris has it, runs right into Brunson. It's a blocking foul, count it, end the foul, and a chance at a three-point play for Tobias Harris.
Usually, this is the type of call that goes in favor of Jalen Brunson. That time, not quite set, doesn't absorb the contact straight into his chest. This fourth quarter turnaround by the Knicks, though, Pat, has just been exceptional. Now, there's still a lot of ball game left to play, especially for a team that's been able to knock down 14 threes and now is shooting less than 50% from the three-point line, but they've got multiple snipers, and so the Knicks still can't turn the basketball over, need to get quality shots on glass or on goal, and they've got to continue to defend.
Free throw good for Harris. Those were his first 3 points of the second half. Knicks lead by 10, 2.5 to play. Hart across the timeline, brings it left side with the dribble, up top for Towns. Brunson is off the ball on this possession. Towns working against Thompson again, drives right through him, floats it up, no good. Thompson the rebound. Pistons have to push, down by 10. Thompson's pass is deflected, saved by Schroeder, but he was out of bounds. Another turnover for Detroit.
20-19.
That's the 20th.
I've got 20th, yeah. The box score here electronically wanted to double back to 19, but I'm with you. 20 turnovers now for the Pistons.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play at the end of game 1. Hart turns the corner, met at the rim, shot no good. Harris grabs the rebound, exactly 2 minutes to play. Cunningham is tripped up in the backcourt. They're going to get Cameron Payne on this one, his third foul. The Knicks are over the limit, so with 1:58 to go, Cade Cunningham, with the clock stopped, will go to the line for 2.
If you're JB Bickerstaff and company, this is what you wanted, right? So the Knicks are going to have to resist the urge to try to make home run plays and just remain steady defensively and offensively.
So Cunningham steps to the line. First free throw, spins out. Monica Mikal-Bridges checks in. Cameron Payne is walking to the Knicks bench, and listen to the ovation after playing 10 minutes here in the fourth quarter and scoring 11 points in the final period.
He brought a tremendous amount of energy. This crowd appreciated it. This team needed it. It changed the tide of the ball game on both sides of the floor, and that cannot be understated.
Second free throw good for Cunningham. Knicks lead is 9, 116-107. Bridges brings it across the timeline. Circles back near midcourt. Into the hands now of Brunson. Schroeder guards him. Brunson right side. Up top pass Bridges. Foul line jumper is good. Mikal Bridges just off the bench. Puts the Knicks back up by 11.
Picking up where his teammate, both in Phoenix and now in New York, Cameron Payne left off.
Cunningham crossover dribble to the basket, a two-handed slam. Not much time came off the clock there. Minute 36 to go. Knicks lead by 9. Brunson calling for a clear out. He's going to get it across the midcourt line. Brunson's in trouble. And that's a turnover against the Knicks.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Pistons pressured the ball in the backcourt. It's an 8-second violation. So Detroit gets it back with a minute 28 to go, trailing by 9.
And this is where the Knicks have to be smart.
Three-pointer, banks it in. Cade Cunningham straight on. It's a two-possession game, 118-112. Towns nearly turns the ball over, but he was fouled from behind by Asar Thompson.
Listen, Pat, you could sort of see this unfolding. This Pistons team is not going to go away. They didn't have the historic turnaround from winning 14 games last season to 44 this season because they have no fight in them. They're going to make this next 121 as difficult as possible on the Knicks. And the Knicks need to be prepared.
It was the first foul in the last 2 minutes. So the Knicks inbounding in the backcourt. Schroeder is trying to have Bickerstaff challenge, but it's too late. The Knicks inbound the ball with a minute 15 to go. Up by 6. Brunson guarded by Thompson, who has 5 fouls. Shot clock at 10. Garden crowd slowly rises to its feet. Brunson to the basket. Gets the roll. Off the glass. Knicks by 8. Cunningham quickly into the front court. Fires a 3. No good. Rebounded by Hart. Final minute. Knicks with possession, leading by 8. Hart slows things down on the right wing. And now it's in the hands of Bridges. Hart underneath, lays it up and in with the left hand. Knicks by 10, 43 seconds to go here in game 1. Cunningham up top. Thompson, fallback jumper, right baseline, air ball.
There's so many people hitting the ground.
It's been that kind of game. I think it'll be that kind of series. Crowd rises to its feet here at Madison Square Garden. Brunson is fouled hard by Malik Beasley with 23.8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Pistons are over the limit. Brunson will go to the line for 2.
Woo. The poise showing up late.
For sure.
It was a little bit frenetic in that last 53 seconds for sure.
Brunson, hands on his knees, collecting himself. He's played 40 minutes. Knicks have tomorrow off. Game 2 will be here at the Garden Monday night. First free throw in and out for Jalen Brunson. 22 of his 33 points have come in the second half. A lot of gamesmanship all night.
A lot of something.
It's going to be a fun series. Second one is good for Brunson. Shot clock is off. Knicks lead by 11. Asar Thompson quickly into the front court. Knocked away by Anunoby. Stolen. Anunoby picks up the loose ball. Knicks have to get it over the midcourt line. Pistons are fighting to the very end here. Anunoby in the front court. 10 seconds to go. The Madison Square Garden crowd rises to its feet. It wasn't easy. The Knicks trailed by 8 in the fourth quarter, but they take game 1, 123-112. Game 1 in the books for the Knicks.
A hard-earned victory. 3 guys past the 20-point mark. 5 guys, in double figures. A heroic performance from Cameron Payne coming off the bench. and a huge comeback in the fourth quarter to swing momentum in this ball game.
The Knicks started the fourth quarter trailing 91-83. With 9:15 to go, they were down 98-90, and then they went on an historic 21-0 run to completely flip this game and take control. 123-112 the final score. 34 points for Jalen Brunson, 23 apiece for Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby, and 14 points off the bench for Cameron Payne, who joins us right outside the Knicks locker room. Cam, it's Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. Talk about that fourth quarter. You guys are down by 8 to begin the quarter. You come on, and we just knew that you needed to bring some sort of energy to this team, and you did that and then some. Talk about what you and your teammates did to turn this game around.
Oh, for sure. Hey, but before I answer you, man, shout out to God. He helped me get this run fueled up for us. But the main thing, man, come out there and try my best way to change the game. Tonight it was shot making. Tonight it was getting my hand on the ball, pushing pace. I just try my best to find ways to win and to help my teammates have fun, get turned, and just bring in energy.
Come on with the Easter weekend message. Look, so we can see you up here saying something to somebody. And while the productivity in the box score is one thing, in the third quarter, our observation was that this team was missing some connectivity and toughness. What did you say, or did your actions just do all the talking?
For sure my actions just did all the talking. But what I was saying, I was like, man, let's turn it up. Man, we got to get the crowd back involved. We got to bring the energy, and man, that's my job here, man, to bring energy, change the game, push the pace. That's just what I do.
It is obviously game one of a long series. Mm-hmm. This one, no shortage of physicality. Mm-hmm. What will be the key as game two rolls in here on Monday and then you guys travel to Detroit?
Honestly, man, that is 0-0. We got to come out here and do the same thing, find a way to win, bring our energy, and like you said, the physicality. They big time with physicality, so we got to match their physicality. And outside of that, we'll be fine. Just make sure we come with the right mindset and find a way to win.
Cam, what was that ovation like when you went to the bench and the crowd recognized your efforts tonight at the end of the game?
Man, I've been waiting on that since last playoffs. I was in here in the Garden, and man, they was turning up on us when I was in Philly. Now I got the Knicks jersey on. It feel good. It feel good.
Congratulations. Great job tonight, Cam.
Thank you.
Cameron Payne, 14 points off the bench, 11 of them in the fourth quarter, on the floor for that 21-0 run in which the Knicks took control of the game, that they win 123-112 and lead the series 1-0. The
stats are there as far as Cameron Payne is concerned, but what he said in terms of being able to communicate and energize his team is just as important as what he was able to do in terms of the stats sheet, because this team needed a fresh look in the fourth quarter, and that's exactly what they came with. What a terrific run. They did a great job of capitalizing on the turnovers that Detroit had. 21 total turnovers, 25 points for the Knicks off of those turnovers.
Playoff basketball at the Garden is back in a big way. Knicks basketball on ESPN New York is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires. Plenty to break down on the postgame show after the Knicks Game 1 win. That's coming up next with Dan Grassa. Final score from the Garden, the Knicks 123 and the Pistons 112. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Busted Open hits the road with live on-site coverage of WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas. Beginning Thursday, April 17th, join Dave LaGreca, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, and Bully Ray at special events in and around the city, including Circa Hotel and Casino, WWE World, and more. Big-time guests and the best pro wrestling takes in the world from the best in the business. Busted Open live in Las Vegas, only on Fight Nation, Channel 156.
The NFL Draft is coming, and the place for the latest information is SiriusXM NFL Radio.
This guy's decision-making is impressive.
Our experts will tell you what your team needs.
They've got to get better around Geno Smith.
And which players will make an impact.
Cleveland, they might already say the number one's going to be Ward, so we got to be prepared. Who do we like it to the most?
SiriusXM NFL Radio gets you ready for the NFL Draft on Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The first place to talk hoops every weekday morning is the starting lineup with Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine.
Overrated? Do you watch the guy play? He's unstoppable.
They're breaking down all the latest from the association.
I think he's a baller, and I think people would give up assets to get a guy like that.
Along with some laughs.
Kevin Durant, you need to get married and be miserable like the rest of us. Reprimanding the fans for booing. It's like, come on, man.
The starting lineup, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 Eastern. Only on Sirius XM NBA Radio, Channel 86, and the Sirius XM app.
From dramatic walk-offs.
This ball is crushed into the trees. Grand slam.
To jaw-dropping web gems.
A diving catch over the shoulder by Johnson.
College softball and baseball are heating up, and you can catch the action on Sirius XM. Hear live play-by-play from the nation's top conferences and powerhouse programs all season long. Stay connected to the action on Sirius XM or streaming anytime on the Sirius XM app. For a complete schedule of games, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Welcome to the New York Knicks postgame show. Now here's Dan Grassa.
And we welcome you into the New York Knicks postgame show. Dan Grassa with you. Playoff basketball at Madison Square Garden for the third year in a row. And the Detroit Pistons came in tonight in search of their first playoff win since 2008. They took an 8-point lead into the fourth quarter, but the Knicks ratcheted up the defensive intensity. They go on a 21-0 spurt, and they turn the tide on this basketball team and take game one, 123-112 over the Detroit Pistons. Jalen Brunson, the high man, 34 points and 8 assists. Jalen, though, didn't start off all that great for him, just 2 for 13 to begin the game, 11 points in the first half. Knicks offense in the first half was fueled by OG Anunoby, who had 19 of his 23 in the opening two quarters. Cade Cunningham, the Pistons' likely all-NBA guard, he had 21 points but really struggled for much of this game, hampered by foul trouble in that first half. But the Knicks will take it, and really 25 points off of 21 Detroit turnovers. You heard Monica mention it a couple of minutes ago, and that was the key in this one. And the Knicks win it by 11 in the series opener. Before we break it all down, let's pause 10 seconds and allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
NBA Radio on Sirius XM is available on your connected devices. Listen at home anytime you want with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or however you stream in the house.
York.
And it's time now for the Knicks Locker Room Report presented by Amazon Pickup. Let's head right back to MSG and check in with the dynamic duo who were on the call, Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. Monica, let's start with the defense. I mentioned that you referenced it a couple of minutes ago, and really that is where this game turned over the final 12 minutes, and not a moment too soon for this Knicks team.
Yeah, they really needed to find the energy in the fourth quarter. They at one point it was a 22-7 run over that stretch. I don't have the final fourth quarter scoring numbers, Dan, but you could see that as important as the energy that they had from scoring and from Cameron Payne and from Jalen Brunson, those baskets were byproducts oftentimes of their defense. Karl-Anthony Towns getting in the passing lanes. I believe he finished the night with 4 steals. OG Anunoby finished the night with 5 steals. You got 3 different guys, McBride, Payne, and Achua, who all had 1 steal, or not Achua, excuse me, McBride, Payne, and Robinson, who all had 1 steal. So I think they've got to remember that even though they can outscore the Pistons are not going away. And Cade Cunningham is a terrific basketball player. Malik Beasley is having an outstanding year from 3. Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. all have postseason experience. And so the defense cannot be lost in this series.
Absolutely not. And really, before that fourth quarter, you think about it, Detroit, and you look at their numbers for the night, 15 of 32 from 3. This is a team that doesn't live and die by the three-point shot, so that was really kind of a surprise for them this evening. And if that's going to be a part of their game, it certainly is going to be tougher for the Knicks to gain the upper hand the rest of the way. But, Pat, you guys just talked to him a couple of minutes ago. So much talk coming into the series. Who was going to step up off this Knicks bench? You knew that it was going to be a tighter rotation. I would say the campaign answered the call in game number 1.
Yeah, he certainly did, and that's his role on this team. He comes off the bench, he provides energy, leadership, he hits big shots. He did all of that when, frankly, a couple of times early in that fourth quarter tonight, things weren't looking great for the Knicks. They were down by 8 to begin the quarter. They were down by 8 about 3 minutes into the quarter before that massive run started. Think about how the quarter started. We talk about defensively. Cameron Payne begins the fourth quarter by face guarding his man, forcing the Pistons into a 5-second violation at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They actually tried to call a timeout before the quarter had even begun. The Knicks then forced a turnover on the next possession, a shot clock violation. So he set the tone defensively, then came up with the big shots. In the 14 and a half minutes that Cameron Payne played tonight, the Knicks were a plus 23 when he was on the floor. For someone who comes off the bench, for someone who has his role, you can't ask for more than that.
Definitely not. And, Monica, certainly you talk about Jalen Brunson, and he's the engine that makes this car go, as we know. And, look, it was a tough go of it in the first half, and there were a couple of moments in this game in half number 2 where he rolled his ankle a couple of times, remained down on the ground, and you probably held your collective breath, everybody in that building, wondering if he'd get up, what status he'd be the rest of the way. But, boy, once again, he answered the call over the final 12 minutes.
Well, I hope you don't mind. I'll take this one because Monica had to run to do her MSG
Pat,
postgame
you're just
hit.
as capable. Absolutely.
But, yeah, I mean, it was a slow start for Brunson. He was 4 for 15 in the first half and started to get going a little bit in that third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, that is clutch time, and that is Jalen Brunson time during the regular season and more so in the playoffs. And it was funny. It was very similar to how the series started last year against the 76ers. Game 1, they were concentrating all of their attention on him. It was a slow start, but in the closing minutes of the game, a tight game, he came up with the big shots when needed. And slowly but surely, as that series went on, Brunson started to figure some things out. So we'll see if that's what he has in store for the remainder of this series. But he scores 11 points in the first half, 23 of them in the second half, and a lot of that done at the free throw line before he got his shot going. And that's what scorers are able to do. He finished 8 for 10 from the line. He missed a couple late after the Knicks had kind of already put this game away. But when the shot wasn't falling from the field, when he wasn't getting clean looks and making clean shots, he was still getting himself to the free throw line and scoring in that fashion.
And not to, of course, rain on Jalen's parade or find fault with things, but he was actually responsible for the only 2 misses of the night for the Knicks at the free throw line. And I'm glad you brought that up, Pat, because, prior to the fourth quarter, when the Knicks were just trying to hang around and really try to see if they can get any sort of momentum, I noted that they were at least shooting the ball pretty well from the free throw line. So you think about they finished 15 of 17 on the night. If they were maybe any less efficient in those first 3 quarters, maybe they're in a deeper hole going into the fourth, and maybe they don't climb out of it. You never know how these games could unfold. The other thing I wanted to point out here was that this Pistons team, we said that they don't live and die by the 3 like some others do in the league. They really do a good job of getting a lot of their offense in the paint. They're 5th in the NBA in that department. Knicks outscored them by 16 points in the paint tonight.
Yeah, and that was huge. And again, it's Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns was terrific tonight. Brunson was the leading scorer with 34 points. Anunoby led the way in the first half. Cameron Payne really was the spark plug during that fourth quarter run. But start to finish, Towns was probably the best player on the floor for the Knicks. And again, and this is something that has been a habit of his in the closing games of the season. He's not overly reliant on the three-point shot. Only 3 attempts from downtown tonight. He put his head down. He took the ball to the basket. He had strong drives and strong finishes. Anytime he had a matchup, whether it was Tobias Harris guarding him, whether it was Asar Thompson guarding him, they rarely guarded Karl Anthony Towns with one of their centers today. And every time he got the ball with a smaller defender on him, he looked to take advantage of that. And that was just part of the story for Cat. He finishes with 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals for Towns, and also protecting the rim with 2 block shots. When you looked at who's the spotlight going to be on for the Knicks at the start of this series, I think we all know, Dan, in a playoff setting, we know what we're going to get from Jalen Brunson, right? Well, the big unknown is Karl Anthony Towns. He has playoff experience, 32 games, but 32 games in Minnesota. This was his first time on this stage in this building with this team, and he came through in a very big way tonight.
I would say that he came through indeed. And the Knicks came through when they have the upper hand in this series, and they'll look to go up 2-0 coming up on Monday. Pat, great stuff from you as always. We'll do it again in 48 hours. Happy Easter to you and your family, and we'll talk Monday.
Same to you, Dan. Thanks a lot.
All right, that was Patty O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. They had the call of tonight's game, 123-112. Knickerbockers defeat the Detroit Pistons. And that was the Knicks locker room report presented by Amazon Pickup. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations near you. We are just getting started here on the Knicks post-game show. When we come back, we'll take a listen to the highlights. We'll get some locker room reaction. We'll hear from Coach Tom Thibodeau. And we'll also check out the out-of-town scoreboard on this first day of the NBA playoffs. In New York, Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues right after this timeout.
Ever stop and think about how connected our city truly is? Bridges, rails, towers, all connected by steel, paint, and plain old hard work. We're the New York Structural Steel and Painters Contractors Association. Since 1974, we've worked alongside our skilled partners at Local Union 806 to keep New York's infrastructure safe, sturdy, and visually appealing. From iconic landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and the World's Fair Tent of Tomorrow to hidden gems and